right, get going here in just a sec. Just waiting to get my other computer up here so I can see what I'm doing. And there we go. Thank you, Chris. I hope I will. If not, I'll just talk to myself for a couple hours. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So we'll give it a couple minutes here and see if we get anybody jumping in early. And if we do, great. If we don't, I'll just kick it off either way. I always see at the very beginning where it says we have 2 viewers, and then I remember that it's you and me. So it's like, all right, well, not quite yet. And yeah, we'll just see how this goes tonight, and if I'm able to, I'd like to just lock down a one night to do this. Doesn't really matter to me what night that is. So yeah, we'll try Sunday night here, see how that works, and we'll go from there. All right, looks like stream is fine. I don't know if you're still in, but I sound okay, Chris? Everything sounds fine? All right. All right. Well, let's I guess get started, and hopefully people come in soon, and we can get to it. So, welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 22. This is my playthrough as the Colorado Rockies. We are finishing up year 4 here. Yeah, year 4, I think. Year 4, right? Yeah, year 4. And so, before we get into the actual playthrough, and this will benefit people that are watching this after the fact as well, but for those of you who have been following the playthrough from the start, you'll notice that we had a winning record last season when we actually didn't have a winning record last season. We finished, I don't remember what it was, 71-91 or 72-90 or something like that. My save was corrupted at about 1 o'clock last night. I pulled up the file save to just check on things and make sure that I was ready to go for today. And all of my minor leagues were gone. Minor leagues were gone. International leagues were gone. The 2 expansion teams that had come in were completely gone. So I'm sitting there raging at my computer at 1:30 in the morning trying to sort this out. Thankfully, I had a backup that was, I guess thankfully, I probably should have backed it up more often, but I had a backup that was from like May of 2023, so I lost basically a year and a half. So I spent pretty much most of the day today getting myself caught back up, and basically I went into commissioner mode, and I replicated every deal that I had made. And not only did I replicate every deal that I had made, I replicated them on the days they actually happened, along with injuries. So if a player was, and thankfully, because I was doing all this on GM Games, I was able to just go back and watch the videos. So I would, if someone would get hurt for 2 weeks, I would injure them for 2 weeks in this playthrough. If somebody got hurt in this playthrough, but they didn't get hurt in the original one, I got rid of the injury in commissioner mode. So I did everything I could to try to replicate the playthrough as best as I possibly could. I mean, I went as far as if, for all the trades that we made and free agent signings and everything else, I made slight changes to some of the players to just make them equal to what they were when we traded for them in the initial playthrough. And then any sort of development after that point, I just left alone. So, for example, Justin Dunn, for example, when we traded for him in the first playthrough, these were his numbers: 68, 65, I think he was actually at a 49 control, and then he had his 3+ pitches. When we traded for him in this one, he was actually a 2-star pitcher. So I had to go in and actually bump his ratings. Now, he got a bump. Other players got dropped down. Like Blake Snell, for example, we just traded for him at the end of the last episode. He was better in this playthrough than he was in the playthrough that we had last time. So I had to go in and I had to decrease some of his stats. So it was a lot of work, but I felt like it was worth it. I didn't want to, as I point at the screen, you guys can't see what I'm pointing at, but I didn't want to give up the save. I was having fun with it. I think we have a pretty solid base, and I wanted to keep going. So I went through and I replicated every deal, every injury, every contract signing, and here we are. So we are at August 1st. And ultimately, the last year, so we saw this here just a second ago, but for whatever reason, last season, the second playthrough went significantly better. I don't know why. 83 and 79 last year, whereas when we did it initially, we were like 72 and 90. This year, it's about a 3-game difference. I think we were 63 and 45 to finish off the playthrough previously. So a little bit better this time, but yeah, I wanted to keep going, so here we are. So my goal for tonight is to get through the last 2 months of the season and hopefully get at least one playoff game in, and we will play that game, assuming we make it. Right now we are, where are we? We are in third place in the West, 4 games behind the Padres. We are pretty safe in the wild card. We're 7 games up on Philadelphia. Hey, Breeze, what's going on, man? So, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to hold on here. So, and I'm not going to repeat everything I just said. I don't know if you heard it, but basically I had not a crash, but a corrupted save. So I loaded my save up last night, and like all my minor leagues were gone. I'm going okay. I'm doing okay. I was raging last night at about 1:30 in the morning when I logged in, or when I loaded up the save, and my minor league systems were gone and the international teams were gone, and I thought the playthrough was toast, but I had to go back basically, and I spent most of the day today. I had a backup set from about F. I had a backup set to like May of 2023, so I spent the day today basically replicating the playthrough. So trades on the days that they happened initially, injuries when they happened, player ratings are about as identical as I can make them. So, I learned my lesson, and I am going to back this up after every single episode at this point. I thought once a year was enough. Apparently it's not. So, I got back to this point about, at about 2 o'clock this afternoon and backed it up. So when we play through tonight and we get done here, I will back it up. And there have been some interesting changes to some of the stats. Like Josh Naylor's not having nearly as good a season as he did in the initial playthrough. And I'm going to pretend that doesn't exist. So this is the last I'm going to talk about it. But yeah, Josh Naylor's not having nearly as good a season. He was on pace for like 80 doubles in the initial playthrough. Joey Gallo, on the other hand, is leading the National League in home runs. Jose Ramirez's batting average is about 50 points higher than it was. Drew Romo's average is about 70 points lower than it was. So a lot of changes, but ultimately it's about a 3-game difference. We are 3 games better than we were before, and this is where we're going to pick it up. So 66 and 42 as we go into a 3-game series against Arizona. And again, my goal tonight is to sim through the last 2 months of the regular season, and then assuming we make the playoffs, we will play at least one playoff game, and presumably, if we don't win the division, we'll end up with the wild card. So we'll at least do the wild card. If we win that, we'll see who we take on in the following round and go from there. Do I think the Celtics will hire a good coach now that Brad is the president? I think they might hire a decent coach. A lot of the rumors are kind of the people that that I would be leaning towards. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Sam Cassell, Chauncey Billups. I'd love Juwan Howard to be the next coach. I wouldn't mind Becky Hammon. If Brad really wanted to make a splash, there are any number of good candidates. I hope he stays away from Jason Kidd. that's kind of the one. I don't want to retread. Let's go after somebody new and somebody that kind of fits that mold of the modern NBA coach, which is, a former player who can relate to the players and that sort of thing. I think he's likely to trade Kemba. I don't know. I think if you end up trading Kemba, it's Lloyd. Yeah, he was the scapegoat for the team prior to Trae Young. It wasn't his fault, and he's not. He's spoken very highly of, so he's not somebody that I would mind. But I would prefer one of those first four that I mentioned initially. I think if they do trade Kemba Walker, it's going to be for the salary cap relief. I don't know how much value Kemba has. If you look at Kemba's numbers, there's value in, almost 20 points a game and 4.5 assists and 4.5 rebounds a game. There's absolutely value in that, but for $30 million, you got to weigh the on-court value with what you're writing, on his paychecks. You don't want it to happen, but sorry, random. Breeze jumped in and we started talking Celtics. We're gonna get started here, and I'll keep answering questions. So game 1 against Arizona, I could talk Celtics basketball all night. A 14-1 victory. I think I wouldn't care. You're fine, man. I wouldn't care about. I wouldn't necessarily want Lonzo Ball. But, if you can package Marcus Smart and bring in, I think you have to, based on what Lilliard's making. If you want to bring in someone like Lillard, you have to package Kemba and Smart just to match up their contracts. So 14-1 victory, 7 RBIs for Zach Veen. Wow, Lucas Gilbert, 3 hits and 3 runs scored in his own game. Zach McKinstry, 4 hits, 3 runs scored. Gilbert goes 8. Good start to the evening. Let's move on. Game number 2. An 11-8 loss. Yeah, I know, man. You're good. How you doing? How are you this evening? So we win 10-5, and Adonis Medina goes down with an elbow strain for a couple of weeks. We will stick him on the injured list. And we'll call back up Radio Martinez. Yeah, so Breeze, that's kind of my take on it. I'm a huge Marcus Smart guy. I think I'm usually not a big fan of, the players who do things that aren't on the score sheet, so to speak. I tend to believe that a lot of that is smoke to kind of blow up somebody's value. But in Marcus's case, I think there's something to it. Trading Smart would cause disaster for the D, and we're not even sure if Evan will leave. I can't imagine that they're going to let Fournier walk, just because that would mean that they used that TPE for basically nothing. And I would hate to think that they wasted that TPE for, what ended up being 15 games of Evan Fournier. So my guess is they bring Fournier back. My guess is they trade Kemba. They may attach Smart to create additional value. And they're going to have to do something about the bench. You can't come back with that bench. Ramirez, 4 RBIs. Zach Veen, 3 RBIs. Jose hits his 20th. Glasnow picks up his 13th win. You can't come back with that bench. It's terrible. And I guess that's part of it. What type of system does that new coach want to run? It could be something completely different than what Brad ran, which would require different roster. So we got 3 games on the road at San Francisco. An 8-4 win. Pujols signed with and he's actually hit pretty well, right? Since I'm watching Yankees Red Sox, and Bogarts just got thrown out at second, leading off the 4th. That's no good. And he's actually hit the ball pretty well. He's hit the ball better than he did really at any time over his last couple years with the Angels. So he's got off to a hot start. It is weird seeing him in that Dodgers jersey, though, that's for sure. Zach Veen, 3 more RBIs. Zach McKinstry, 3 for 3. Dunn picks up, look at that, 7 innings, 4 hits, 13 strikeouts. So yeah, I think it's all going to depend on who they hire, who the Celtics hire as a head coach, because you can't. I don't think Brad's going to sign anybody until they he hit his hot start so he can ring chase. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, OPSing of over 800 or something like that, so he's doing pretty well. Again, I don't think any trades are made. I mean, unless you can pick up someone like Lilliard. If you can somehow turn Kemba Walker into Lilliard, I think you do it regardless of who your head coach is. But I don't think you're going to see any of those peripheral signings, the bench type signings, until they decide on who their head coach is, because it could be a completely different mindset. Joe Adell 4 for 5, Ramirez 3 hits. Castillo picks up the win. Schmidt with the save. We're 70-43. Good start. Another win, 8-3. We're 5-1 this month. I'm gonna have to stop looking at box scores every time we win, since we're winning most of our games. Ali Sanchez, home run, 4 RBIs. Gilbert picks up another win. So we move on to Oklahoma City. Another win, 5-4. So yeah, again, my hope is to, well, my plan is to get through the rest of the regular season and into the postseason, and we'll play at least one game, depending on how it goes. Okay, so Snell has struggled so far. 4 starts, 18 2/3, 21 hits, 5 home runs in 18 innings. He's not having a good run at Coors for sure. 27 strikeouts though in 18 innings, so that's not bad. All right, let's just keep simming. I'll stop looking at box scores unless we get something that's... Oh, so we had a rain out and then a win in the first game of the doubleheader, and a win in the second game of the doubleheader. So that makes us 8-1 this month, 74-43. On to Atlanta, where we lose 10-8. But yeah, I am excited to see how things go. I love the off season. I'm when it comes to the NBA, I'm a Celtics fan, and then when the Celtics are out, I basically lose interest. So I probably won't watch another NBA game this year. That's just sort of the way I've always been with the NBA. But once the season ends and free agency starts up and that sort of thing, I'll get back into it for sure. So, all right, so we win 6-5 and 11. We take 2 out of 3. Nope, we lose 9-4. We're 75-45. We're still 3 games out of first. Let's pause and take a look at our notes here. Miguel Andujar, who, he hit 3 home runs. Pete Alonso with 5 hits. I don't know who Kyle Keller is. Thought it was a different Keller. A lot of injuries here at the end of the season. Ozzie Albies out for the year for the Braves. That's no good for them. It's fine for us, though. Let's keep going. What do you mean? Like in this or in real life? I mean, yeah. I mean, they're still, they're hanging around. I mean, they had a bit of a rough patch here before they went to New York, but they played well the first 2 games. They're down 2-1 here tonight, but I mean, they've got enough hitters to carry them. Yeah, and I mean, they've got enough offense to carry them. It's can that pitching staff maintain what it's done? I mean, I don't think, Garrett Richards has been really, really good his last half dozen starts, and Evaldi's been really good. So I mean, if the pitching can maintain, I think they'll be fine. But Tampa needs to lose. I mean, they've been super hot over the last 3 weeks. So we'll pause and we'll take a look at some stats here once we get through the end of the Cubs series. Ooh, an 11-1 win. 2 hits, 3 RBIs for Adell. 3 hits, 2 RBIs for Veen. Dunn moves to 13-3, pitching in Coors. He's having himself a year. Game 3, can we sweep the Cubs? No, we lose 10-8. All right, so let's just pause really quickly and just take a look and see where we stand. So we're actually still in 3rd place. So after all that, we are still in 3rd place. We are 2 games behind the Padres and Dodgers. We are pretty much settled into one of those playoff spots, 12 games ahead of Philadelphia, so I think we'll be okay. That's a good question, Breeze. I mean, it's been what, 18 months since he's thrown a pitch in a big league game, almost 2 years at this point. I mean, he got hurt. Yeah, I mean, it's been almost 2 years because he got hurt right in the middle of the 2019 season. So, um, is he going to be the Chris Sale of old? I don't know. I think having all of 2020 off will help because that while he had surgery, he hasn't put those innings. Man, my nose is super itchy. They haven't put those innings. He hasn't put those innings on his arm in the last 2 years. If he comes back at 80% of what he was, I think he helps. I think he benefits the team. No, he's never going to get traded. I mean, he's making what, $30 million or somewhere around there. I think it's 30 and then 27 and then a team option or something like that. So no, they're never going to trade him, so they have to hope that he can come back and be the pitcher he was. But that being said, I mean, as a Sox fan, I wouldn't give back that trade for anything. We got a World Series title out of it. So we are 77-46. Zach Veen leads the National League in OPS as a rookie. Joey Gallo leads in home runs and RBIs. Ramirez is third in batting average. Veen is third in home runs. Yeah, random task. I don't count them out either. I mean, the American League teams are going to obviously they're going to feast on Baltimore because the Orioles are terrible. But again, I think the Red Sox have the right combination of pitching and hitting to get it done. The Red Sox in my save are actually doing pretty well. They're 70-53 right now. Offensively, they're getting it done. Starters are struggling, but they have the second best record in the American League. They got Verdugo, Didi Gregorius, Jorge Soler, and Randall Grichuk. They have a very different team. We're only three years into this. Pirates, Baltimore, Detroit, and Texas. Yeah, it's funny is I had somebody on my playthrough on my channel with the Tigers. I had somebody. I think it was right at the end of the first year or somewhere within the first couple years of that playthrough, and he posted a comment on my channel where, I mean, he swore at me and told me that I clearly didn't know anything about baseball because AJ Hinch was getting the most out of the Tigers and they were going to break out this season and I look at their record now and just sort of chuckle at it. So yeah, you're right. I mean, there are only a handful of teams that are out of it, which is cool, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was as a Red Sox fan, I'm not going to complain about it, but it was 10, 15 years ago where, in the American League, it was the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Angels, and that was really it. And then in the National League, it was, you had a little bit more variety, but, the Cardinals, won almost every other year, or the Giants. But you're seeing some of that, some more of that parity now, which I think is pretty cool because it keeps more people in it. Ian Hamilton out for a week. All right, well, we'll just run with that. So we've lost a couple in a row here. Now we're playing the Dodgers for 3 games. So we got a big series here at Los Angeles. We've lost 4 in a row. I just realized. There we go, a 3-2 win. What do we got here? Jose Ramirez with a 2-run home run in the top. Oh, wow, look at that pitcher's duel. Nothing through 7. We scored in the 8th. They scored in the 8th. We scored 2 in the 9th. They scored 1 in the 9th. And we emerge victorious. Adalberto Mondesi. Look at the year that he's having. This was a great signing for us. We're paying him $7 million a year this year, and then we have a team option for next year and the year after. And look at that. He's 891 OPS, 116 OPS plus, 4.5 WAR. He's playing well above average defensively, so that was a great pickup for us. All right, let's move on. So we end our 4-game losing streak. You can't see the stats. Hold on. So Medina comes back. All right, hold on a minute. Let me... what am I doing? Martinez. Dina. Oh, shit. All right. Hang on. Let me move that. Hang on. How's that? That should be better. I do have a big head. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So let's do that again. Let's look at Adalberto Mondesi again. So 308, 18 home runs, 78 RBIs, 4.4 WAR, playing well above average. He's already got 12 triples. I mean, that's a ton of extra base hits. I wasn't expecting anything close to this when I signed him. I thought we would get this level of offense, or as one of his last 2 years. And I guess I should have assumed that there would be a Coors related bump, but and he's hitting really, really well. Very, very good defense. So we beat the Dodgers again. Excellent. So we win 4-2. So 3-2 and 4-2. A couple of solid pitching performances. Ramirez, Naylor, and Apostle go yard. Leiter picks up his 10th win of the season. Gratterall his 18th save. All right. And we'll see if that works throughout the rest of the video. We'll see if that works down there on the bottom left. I didn't even think about that. It's one of the newbie streaming mistakes. I just had it there and didn't even occur to me. So we lose 10-3. All right, so now we got Philadelphia at home for 3. Another 8-10 loss. So a bit of a rough stretch here. We've lost, 6 of our last 8? Keep going. We'll get to the end of the year, or end of the month, and then we'll review the team stats. We'll look at league leaders and whatnot. So a 7-1 win. Oh, we're up to 7 games out of first place. So is that San Diego who's running away with it right now? Yeah, San Diego's won 8 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. I mean, we're still locked into that playoff spot, but it would have been nice to win the division. It's okay. Still improvement from us for sure. All right, so we lose again, 8-5. There we go, a 9-3 victory. Let's pause and let's look at this one. Joey Gallo up to 113 RBIs in 133 games. He's hitting 237. That's unexpected. I mean, I'll take it. If you can get a 240 average out of Joey Gallo, he automatically becomes a 3.5-4 win player. If he hits 220, he's a 3-win player. So, considering we're paying him a bunch of money, that's important. So 3 RBIs out of Gallo, 3 hits for Adele and Ramirez. That middle of the order, man, that is just stacked. All right, game 2 at Milwaukee. Yeah, you're right. It's entirely possible. Thankfully, there's a wild card position where I'll be able to secure that wild card. Wow, sweet. Yeah, this was a bit of this I think ended up being our worst month, 15-12. Yeah, I guess technically from a percentage point of view, May was our worst month. So we'll see how this last game of the month goes against San Diego, and that will determine if it was our worst month or not. Oh, we won 5-1. Cool. All right, let's look at that one because it was over 91-45. McKinstry 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 3 more hits for Veen. Ramirez hit another. McKinstry homered. Glasnow picks up his 15th. Cool. All right, so let's pause. We'll look at league leaders. We'll look at our team stats, and then we will hammer through October. So American League. Red Sox fell off just as I was talking about how good they were playing. 2-8 in their last 10. Tight race in that American League though. Toronto, Tampa, Red Sox, Yankees, all within 2 games of each other. And then in the Central, you got 3 teams within a game. Astros 5 games up in the West. Atlanta's got the East locked down. The Brewers look like they have the Central close to being locked down, and the Padres are 5 games up on us. Ramirez 38 home runs for Joey Gallo. Is that like a 50 home run pace, 45 home run pace? I mean, 45 and 136. Yeah, Tampa Bay is having a run here. And they only went 16 and 12 in the month, which means, and they're on a, what is that? Did they say 9-game winning streak? So if they're on an 8-game winning streak. So they were 8 and 12 before winning their final 8 games of the month to move into first place. That's a Tampa Bay thing to do. To just struggle all month and then go on a hot streak right at the end of the year. Joey Gallo, just having a great year. Zach Veen, I would assume, is going to win Rookie of the Year with these numbers. He's on pace for 39 and 118 and 5.7 WAR. He's not good defensively, but that's fine. Manny Machado leading in WAR. Acuna followed by Ramirez. We have the top 2 in wins, Glasnow and Dunn. Glasnow 197 strikeouts. Dunn leading is that the majors? Second in the majors in WAR at 4.4. Cool. All right, let's look at the team stats and see how we are doing. Let's start with the lineup. We don't have a single batter with negative WAR at this point. Yeah, it's a long season, a lot of ups and downs. It's just funny, to have that bad a start, and then all of a sudden you look up and you've won 8 in a row and you're in first place. So yeah, we don't have a single player who is negative WAR, and almost every single batter in our lineup has been worth at least a win. Jose Ramirez, just a fantastic pickup for us. 325, 390, 597. That's a great year. Zach Veen, we just talked about. Mondesi, we just talked about. Joe Adell, well worth. This contract is an absolute bargain that we're paying him based on the value that he's given us. And he's going to get pushed. I don't know if he's going to be our starting center fielder next year or if he's going to be our starting right fielder. We have Drew Jones, whose development has slowed significantly. You're right. That 07 season, they won, I think you might be right. It was 19 or 20 games right down the stretch. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Jones, I don't know that he's going to be ready next year. I think he's probably got another year ahead of him here. So, we'll probably roll with Veen, Adell, and Gallo for at least another year. We may try to move on from Gallo in that final year of the contract if Drew Jones is ready. But that's a problem for another time. Zach McKinstry having a really nice year as our start. Look at that. 3.5 WAR, 310 batting average. He's turned into a quality second baseman for us. He's having a great year. Solid defensively. Talked about Gallo. Hannah's settled into that backup outfielder role. Nice. They got to give him some playing time in right field so he can develop there. But he's had a couple good years in a row. This is a solid player for us really since the beginning of the playthrough. Naylor. You never promote anyone without a full season in AA. Yeah, I try not to. Unless they get that ratings boost out of nowhere where you look up and all of a sudden they're 3 stars or 3.5 stars or whatever. But he'll start next season in AA, and I'll call somebody up from AA if they're having a great year and the ratings dictate it. I don't, like last year I didn't call, if you remember or if you've been watching, I didn't call up. I had Romo, Veen, and Leiter in AAA all year. They were all ready, but there was no reason to call them up because we were terrible. So I think personnel and how the season is going also dictates it. There was no need to call them up and start that clock because, we didn't want to be good last year. If we needed a defensive outfielder this year or, something happened to multiple of our outfielders, it might be something I consider. But, now we just don't need him because everybody's playing really well. On the pitching side, Justin Dunn, this was a great trade for us. Giving up Brendan Rodgers was difficult. He's having a pretty good season in Seattle. Well, I guess actually, no, he's not. He's having a terrible season in Seattle. Look at that. 223, 286, 402. He's having a terrible year. This was just an unbelievable deal for us between Gilbert, who's 9-6, and Dunn, who is 13-3. So he is our. Glasnow, I would consider him our ace just because he's, I don't know, I don't know why I would consider him as ace. Dunn's been better, but Glasnow's had himself a good year, 15-7. He's a lot luckier this year. He actually pitched better last year if you look at his numbers. Higher K rate, lower walk rate, lower whip. But he was only 8-12. So this year his ERA has gone up. He's walking more. He's striking out a little bit less, and he's almost doubled his wins. If I lose enough outfielders, that's a good point. That's a solid point. We're at a point now where we are competitive. So if you need to plug somebody in for a week or 2 weeks because multiple people got hurt, that you're probably right. Sometimes I talk without thinking. My mouth moves faster than my brain. It's a problem I've had my whole life. Blake Snell has come in and been really, really bad. He's 0-3 with an 8.58 ERA and 8 starts. He's given up 52 hits in 35 innings. I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I think we move Schmidt back into the rotation and we make Snell a reliever for now. He's been that's terrible. That's terrible. Oh, so one of the things I had to do, I don't know if you saw the beginning of this random task, but and I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it once more. So when I opened up this save last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning, it had corrupted. I had lost all of my minor leagues. I had lost all of my international teams, all my international leagues, and I had both of the expansion teams that had joined the league were just gone. Everything just was gone. So I had to revert to a backup that I had saved, and I had to resim. And in this resim, Blake Snell had signed a 1-year contract with San Diego, not St. Louis. That was one of the changes I had to make. I had to move him from San Diego to St. Louis and then trade him to us, which was the deal that had been made the previous season. So it was a mess. I spent like 6 hours working on it today to get myself back to where I was. I went through and every transaction, every injury, I replicated from my previous recording. So I went and I watched my previous recordings and I replicated everything to get myself back to this point. So no, BABIP isn't doing him any favors, but he hasn't been good. I mean, 9 home runs in 35 innings doesn't scream, unlucky. 2.3 home runs per 9. He's walking more than he normally does. So we'll let him try to figure it out here in the bullpen for a little while, and we'll stick Schmidt back in the rotation. Not that he's been lights out over the last month, but what are you gonna do? Gilbert 9-6 in his first season with us. ERA is a bit high. He's been a little below average, but still good for a couple of wins this season. Dedication of it. It's funny because I was talking to Chris about this in Discord today, and he's like, "Well, why don't you let's just pick another team and it happens." I was like, I don't want to. Like I was excited about the direction of the team and the young players that we had and the way the minor leagues were shaping up. I was like, I want to see this through. So so I saw it through, and here we are. So Caleb Ferguson having a pretty good season for us. Again, we traded him for Jacob deGrom at the end of last season. deGrom this year for the Dodgers. He's made 11 starts before getting injured again. So that trade worked out nicely for us. You can see those ratings continue to drop for deGrom. We're still paying about $7.5 million. Do I think the Bruins will win it all? Man, I hope so. I've said this before, but hockey's my first love, and I'm one of those people that would, trade a Red Sox World Series for a Stanley Cup for the Bruins, or I would happily trade one of the Patriots' 6 Lombardis for another cup for the Bruins. I think they have enough talent. Colorado looks like an absolute juggernaut, though. I don't know how anybody is going to beat them. I know Vegas won Game 3, but I don't know how anybody beats them in 7. That being said, they got to get by the Islanders, and one of the Boston beat reporters made a comment after Game 1 how he was expecting it to be, and we'll continue here, how he was expecting it to be a quick series, and I immediately got laid into by pretty much everybody saying, are you kidding? I mean, Varlamov played the Bruins super, super tough this season. The Islanders were incredibly difficult to play against. They play a great defensive style of hockey, and it's going to be a tough series. I think they have the talent to do it. Taylor Hall has been phenomenal in the postseason. He got to a fight last night, which I missed, by the way. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I was doing we just swept St. Louis, or we just swept San Diego. What does that do? Well, 7 games out with the sweep. So I missed the game last night. I was doing color commentary for a baseball team here in Chicago, the Chicago Dogs. It's an independent league team in the American Association, and I was on air doing color commentary last night, so I missed the hockey game. Doesn't look like I missed much, but so to answer your question, yes, I think they can. Do I think they will? I don't know. I don't know. I question whether or not they're even going to get by the Islanders. Oh, good. Okay, so we just Blake Snell gone for 12 months. That was a worthwhile trade there. And I guess it doesn't really matter. We weren't going to keep the player that we traded for him, but Snell is done for the season. So that means we call up Radiel Martinez, who hasn't been good for us this season. We've been, knock on wood, so far to this point, we've been relatively lucky with injuries. We have some players who are fragile, like our closer, for example. And he's made it through most of the season relatively unscathed. So, yeah, we've gotten relatively lucky with our injuries, but not there. Not there. What about you, Breeze? I mean, are you from Boston, or are you a Boston fan, or are you just gearing the questions towards me because you know I am? So we keep simming here against Miami. Another win. So we're 4-1 here in October. Good start to the month. Another win against St. Louis. 6-4 loss in 14. We'll get to the end of this week, and then we'll pause and see where we stand and just make sure we're playoff bound. 5-4 win. Let's take on the Mets for 3. We win the first game 11-7. Eric Hosmer with his 2,000th hit. Anthony Rizzo hits his 300th home run. This is one that got away from me as a Red Sox fan. Giving up Anthony Rizzo is a tough one. Seeing him play as well as he has for the Cubs, it would have been nice to have him at first base for the Sox for a while, but, what are you going to do? All right, let's keep moving. As we've won 5 out of 6. Another win, a 4-1 victory. And there we go. I should have just kept my mouth shut, right? I should have just stopped talking. So now we lose Justin Dunn for 4 to 5 weeks, which 4 to 5 weeks puts him where? So there's 1, there's 2. He may miss the first round of the playoffs if we make it that far. All right, so I guess Brett, who's going to get the call up? Duplantier pitched. Conine's been pretty good this year down in AAA. Duplantier's been starting. Hill has been okay. I think we're going to go with Hill just because he's the ground ball type. So who moves into the starting rotation? I don't have any idea. Medina? Let's try moving Medina in, I guess. It's probably not the best situation, but... so a couple of injuries right off the bat. Just as I say, we got lucky with injuries. We get an off day here now. Let's go. A 6-5 win. So we got a 17-6. 3 hits, 4 RBIs for Gallo. 3 hits, 5 RBIs for Adele. 3 guys with 100 RBIs. Adele's closing in. Mondesi's on the outside. Doyle picks up the win. 2 home runs for Adele. That's a game right there. 17 runs. Are you kidding me? Seriously, are you kidding me? Castillo and Dunn, both with sprained ankles. All right. Sandoval. Has Medina gotten a start yet? No. All right, so we will make him a specialist / middle relief. He'll be a middle reliever. We'll see how he does. See how Medina does. Yeah, right. Like I should. As I was saying it, I was like, I should just keep my mouth shut. I should just keep my mouth shut because I've gotten lucky this year, and then Naylor's diagnosis pending too. All right. OOTP gods are doing a number on me here. How long do we lose Naylor for? 5 weeks. Castillo, Snell, Dunn, and Naylor all out for the next month and a half. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. All right, so who's gonna go and play first? Do we just stick Apostle at first? I think so. It's probably the best option. I think I'm actually comfortable leaving him in the 2 hole. No, I am. He's fine there. I don't want to mess with Mondesi. He's hitting so well down there. Come on. All right. Stick Rivas in there as the backup first baseman. Who's going to play first? Whoever's on the waiver wire. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I'm glad we picked up Apostle, because if you remember, we had Miguel Andahar at the beginning of the season, and he's not good defensively. At least Apostle is good with the glove. And he's had a good season. I mean, 290, he's got 914 OPS, so he's hitting fine, and he's very good defensively. So he'll be the one, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully no more. 13-6 loss. Yeah, you can see immediately what's happening with these injuries. I mean, it's been a bit of a rough show. 4-3. It's not like we're playing terribly, but yeah, I mean, eventually it gets the team depth gets tested, right? You know, because previously we had Apostle as our main pinch hitter. I mean, if you look at his stats on the year, look at his first start. Look at that. 0 for 4 with 4-stroke code. Golden sombrero for Shirt and Apostle. He had been our main pinch hitter. He played 115 games, only started 32 of them. So he was that first guy off the bench pinch hitting for a pitcher or doing a really, really nice job. So now we go from Apostle down to probably Rivas. Who's that going to be that main bat now? I guess it has Hannah listed as the top pinch hitter, which is, I guess, fine. I mean, he's a 300 hitter too, 848 OPS, no problem there. All right, well, hopefully we get these players back, you know, if we can make it through that wild card game, because I assume we're going to Apostle splits. He's not playing much against lefties, 10 for 33, but, I mean, they're pretty right on. He just isn't playing much against lefties. He will now, but yeah, I mean, he's hitting really well against both. So we got him as a waiver claim. So Texas dropped the ball there as we go to Arizona for 3. Bad Arizona team. We beat 9-7. Clark Schmidt is out for a week. We lose 2-0. And we lose 9-4. Yeah, so 3-4 that week. 3 games against. These are our last 3 home games, or do we have more? Yeah, these are our last 3 home games of the year, followed by 3 games at Oklahoma City to finish off the year. We'll look at stats, standings, league leaders, and then we will jump into the postseason. Yeah, Apostol's been a really solid pickup. I mean, initially I picked him up because he wasn't a better hitter than Andahar. I mean, you look at Miguel Andujar's stats. I mean, does not have better ratings. He just doesn't have better hitting ratings. I mean, Andujar's a better bat, both against lefties and righties. But defensively, Apostol was better. Significantly. I mean, significantly. And that, to me, was important. Based on where we play, we don't really need more offense. We needed defense. And we get that here. Obviously, he's younger, too. But it was the defense that really made me want to pick him up, and he's been better offensively than Andujar has been this year. All right. Game 2 against San Francisco was a 9-4 win. And the final game. Can we win our final home game of the year? Yes, 14-3. So we send the fans home happy. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with at least 2 runs knocked in. These are the Rockies of the mid-90s here with this lineup. Look at that. Four players with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Mondesi's knocking on the door. If he can drive in 3 runs in the last 3 games, he'll reach 100 RBIs. Gilbert picks up the win. Mondesi homers, Ramirez homers, Veen with his 40th. Final 3 games against Oklahoma City. 5-1 win. I like these games where we have the solid pitching performances. I like those. You don't get enough of them as a manager for Colorado. All right, so final game of the season is a 5-0 win. So we had a 2020 batter. We had the National League leader in wins. So let's just look at the final game of the year. Ramirez, 2 for 3, 4 RBIs. McKinstry is at 2 home runs for Ramirez. Mondesi finishes with 97 RBIs. He does not pick up those 3 runs knocked in. Medina gets the start, goes 5 1/3, walks 5, but doesn't give up any runs. Cool. So the season ends. We end up 99-63. So you were off by 1 game. Random Task. You said we'd win 100 and finish in 3rd place. We won 99 and finished in 3rd place. We literally finished with the 3rd best record in baseball, and we finished 3rd in our division. So Dodgers finished with the best record in the game. The Padres finished with the 2nd best record. We finished with the 3rd best record. So Tampa wins the American League. East, Red Sox pick up one of the wild card spots. The Indians win the Central, courtesy of a 9-1 run down the stretch. Astros win the West, with the Mariners getting the other wild card. Braves 97-65, Brewers 84-78, and then the top 3 teams from the West all make the postseason. So we're gonna save here real quick. So we're gonna play that wild card game. We're gonna be playing. Who are we gonna be playing? Oh, we're gonna be playing San Diego. Right, 2 wild card teams play each other. So we'll be playing a rival. Yeah, what year? I think that was one of those years that the Braves made the World Series every single season. It was like, I don't remember what year it was, but the Braves, the Mets, and one other team all won 100 games, and one of those teams didn't make the playoffs or something. I don't remember what year it was, but it was sometime in the early 90s, maybe? I want to say it was the Braves, because the Braves were still in the AL West at the time. I want to say it was the Braves and the Dodgers and the Giants, maybe. All 3 teams finished with 100 wins, and it came down to the final game of the season, and I think the Giants had a rookie pitcher going, and he ended up getting blown up, and the Giants got knocked out. I don't remember what year that was, but I'm going to have to look it up now. All right, we want to look at stats. We want to look at league leaders. Let's start with the American League. So Alex Verdugo led the American League in hitting. George Springer, Jung-Hoo Lee, Luis Ariz, and Terran Vavra are your top 5 in batting. 93 up 1993. It was. Am I right? Was it Atlanta, the Dodgers, and the Giants? And I believe the Giants lost to the Dodgers in the final game of the year, if I remember correctly. Pete Alonso led the American League in home runs. Eloy Jimenez, Matt Olson, Andrew Vaughn, and Kyle Tucker. Jimenez with 135 knocked in. Gleyber Torres, Andrew Vaughn, Austin Meadows, Fran Mil Reyes, Vavra with a 413 on base percentage. Those ratings don't scream 413 on base percentage, but I guess if the contact is there, that eye and discipline can do that. So Austin Meadows, 589 slugging, led the American League in OPS. Andrew Vaughn, 6.9 WAR, 49 doubles for Vlad Jr. Also led the American League in hits. Nobody with 200 hits. Brandon Marsh, 38 stolen bases. Aaron Judge struck out 232 times on the year. OPS plus, Austin Meadows. Let's look at pitching leaders. Yeah, it's showing my age a little bit, random task, that I remember that so clearly. I mean, I was, in 93, I was a junior in high school. So, yeah, it was, that was cool. I can't remember the pitcher's name now. The Giants had I'm almost positive they had a rookie pitcher. Braves had 104 and the Giants had 103. So maybe they had a rookie pitcher on the mound in the final game of the year, and I can't remember who it was now. But at any rate, Aaron Savale led the American League in wins and ERA. He was somebody we tried to trade for in the first season of this playthrough, and we just couldn't get it done. It's all right, man. I don't mind. I don't mind being an older gentleman doing this. I'm not that old. I'm 45, so I'm not that old. But yeah, Mitch Keller was somebody else, and somebody had commented on this back in the first season when we were looking to trade German Marquez. There were two deals that I had lined up. The first one was for Josh Naylor, and the other one was for Mitch Keller. So before I pulled the trigger, I asked in sort of in the video for people to comment on who they thought I should take, and I was told that Mitch Keller would never develop into an ace. Well, it happens. Yeah, I'm happy with Naylor. He's had a couple solid years in a row, but yeah, that's an ace if I've ever seen one. Jesus Luzardo, 17 losses on the season. Nick McColajak. I don't know. I'm going to say McColajak. 43 saves for Houston, 5.5 WAR for Savale. I mean, Savale led the American League in everything. I assume he's going to be the Cy Young winner. Bieber with 17 wins. Look at those 3 straight seasons. What's that? That's 37, 54, and 19 in the last 3 years for Bieber. Savale is going to win the. How did Cleveland not win more games? They had, with that pitching staff, Savale, Bieber, and Torres. 19 wins for Savale, 17 for Bieber, 15 for Torres. I want to look at Cleveland. Was the rest of the team just awful? Yeah, they're okay. So their offense was atrocious. Hit a lot of home runs, 6th in home runs, but they were 13th in runs scored. But that alone could propel them through the postseason here, so that'll be interesting to see. Let's go to the National League now. Solomon Torres, that's who it is. Yep. Of course, you're telling me who it is, so yes, it's right. But yeah, I believe he was a rookie. He was making like one of his first few starts of the year or something, or maybe he had a really, I can't remember. Either it was one of his first few starts or he had a really good rookie season and then pitched in game 163 and got lit up. No, Baseball Reference is usually not wrong about that stuff. National League. I keep going to standings. I don't want to look at standings. I want to look at stats. National League batting. Trey Turner and then Ramirez and McKinstry were 2 and 3. Machado led the league in home runs, but then we had 2, 3, 4, and 6. Gallo, Veen, Ramirez, and Adele. Gallo led the league in RBIs. Ramirez was 2nd. Veen was 4th. Acuna led the league in on base. Soto, Ramirez was 3rd. Veen and Ramirez were 1-2 in slugging. They were also 1-2 in OPS. Ramirez led the National League in WAR, so I would say that was his 8th start. See, I vague memories of some of this stuff. My memory isn't what it once was, but vague memories of some of this stuff. So Ramirez, 7.6 WAR. We're paying him $27 million. I would say that was a solid signing for us. Ramirez led the league in hits, led the league in runs, second in the league in doubles. Adalberto Mondesi led the league in triples. Ramirez led in total bases. We could be looking at an MVP season here for Mr. Jose Ramirez. Just looking at these numbers, I would assume that he's going to finish in the top couple, if not win it. Acuna could give him a run, but I think it's going to be Ramirez. Pitching leaders: Morejon led the National League in ERA. Justin Dunn was 4th, and Dunn is out for how much longer? 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, we're not going to have Dunn through, at least if we win the wild card, we're not going to have him through the first round of the playoffs. Luis Castillo, Marlins. Luis Castillo, are you a Marlins fan? Sonny Gray, 19 losses for Oklahoma City. Glasnow led the National League in wins. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 42 saves. Justin Dunn led the National League in WAR. Jack Flaherty, 217 innings pitched. WAR went to whom? Oh, I just said Justin Dunn. Rocker struck out 250. Oh, he played for the Mets at the time. What year was that? Was that the Kansas City World Series a few years back? What was it, 2015? Is that what I'm thinking of, 2015? Oh, 09, so you're going back a ways. Okay. A Mets fan, huh? All right, well, I'll allow it. I will allow it. I prefer the Mets to the Yankees as a Red Sox fan, if that means anything to you. Even with 86, I prefer the Mets to the Yankees. All right, so let's look at our stats, and let's get to this postseason game, shall we? We'll start with our pitching staff. Overall, I can't complain with how our pitching did. Losing Dunn, everyone preferred, except for Yankees fans. I think you're probably right. Losing Dunn for the postseason is obviously going to hurt. We're going to run with a 4-man rotation, and it's going to be Glasnow, Schmidt, Gilbert, and Leiter. So losing Dunn for the postseason is going to hurt, I think. I'm going to remove the pitch count from these guys in the postseason. Leiter with a solid rookie season, 4.6 ERA, but a 3.94 FIP, 104 ERA plus, so he was above average. Showed really good control, 4.4 Ks per walk. You can see that control is continuing to improve. 12-4, gave him a few too many hits, but that's going to happen in course. I mean, it was only 267 batting average. You think Yankees fans? So what do you think? What do you think they are? Do you just think I would say that I am a Red Sox fan, not necessarily a baseball fan. I love, I will watch every single Red Sox game, but if they're not in the postseason, the only sport that I will watch that I will actively watch if my teams aren't in it are hockey and football. I love baseball, I love basketball, but I love my teams more than I think I love the sport itself, if that makes sense. I don't think that makes me a bad fan. I just think I lose some interest once my teams are out of it. Glasnow followed up an 8-12 season with a 17-9 season. 3.4 WAR. He was an average pitcher. You can see his ERA plus was 99. So if you don't like the Rams, that means you're either an LA football fan or you're an NFC South football fan. So where are your football loyalties? If you're a Mets fan, I would have assumed you would have been a Jets or a Giants fan. Clark Schmidt had a good year. Back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation. Logan Gilbert was okay. Gave up too many home runs. Actually, I don't know. 24 home runs on 159 innings isn't terrible. He looks like he got a little unlucky. He only gave up a 265 batting average, 1.4 home runs, 2.7 walks. I don't know. Maybe it was just a lot of extra base hits. I mean, will this show his? Does this show like slugging and stuff? No, it doesn't. Won't it bet? Oh yeah, it does right here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's only a 455, 781 OPS. Yeah, I mean, that's a little high. So I guess he did give up a lot of extra base hits, but I mean, his numbers, I mean, the numbers would suggest he pitched better than he did, but. Oh, you're an Eagles fan? Oh, man. You grew up in New Jersey and lived in St. Louis. So how did you, growing up in New Jersey, how did you become an Eagles fan? I thought, you just by default, you became a Giants or a Jets fan living in New Jersey. Hamilton pitched, again, high ERA, but that's what you're going to get out of Coors. 100 strikeouts in 83 innings. Pitched in 72 games. He and Hamilton both pitched a ton. So my phone goes off. Sorry about that. Lot of super high ERAs. This could be rough. Although, I guess maybe if we play the games, they may sim differently, so I don't know. Yeah, our bullpen wasn't very good. So that's something that I will have to definitely pay attention to in the offseason and try to find an elite bullpen arm. Try to pick up one of those 5-star guys and give up what we have to give up. You grew up closer to Philly, but you grew up with good Mets teams, good Eagle teams, and good Sixers. Oh, man, don't tell me you're a Sixers fan, too. Like, I was okay with you being a Mets fan, but you're an Eagles fan and a 76ers fan watching somebody who's a diehard Boston sports fan. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was okay with you being a Mets fan, but Eagles and Sixers may cross that line a little bit. All right, let's look at offense really quick. So I want to get to this game. So, yeah, I think Jose Ramirez is on pace for an MVP season. Adalberto, I mean, our free agent signings this year couldn't have performed any better. We had over 13, we had over 13 WAR between our two free agent signings this year. So I would say we made the right decisions in free agency in Jose Ramirez and Adalberto Mondesi. Zach Veen's likely to be the Rookie of the Year, 40 home runs, 5.4 WAR. Joe Adell, we got Joe Adell last year for essentially nothing. So last season, if you remember, Oklahoma City had Jordan Hicks on the trade block. So we gave up Tony Bullard, who is a 2-star 24-year-old, and Luis Frias, who they've turned into a closer. We picked up Jordan Hicks, who was a 5-star reliever, and we turned around and we flipped him for Joe Adell. And, I mean, he had a good year. I mean, Hicks, did he have a good year? Yeah, I mean, 2.65 ERA, 91 strikeouts in 57 innings. But we picked up Joe Adell, who had a 900 OPS, had 5 wins. It was a 5-win player, so I think we won that deal. McKinstry. Yeah, Boston fan. Here's the deal, Jolly Roger. As a what's the saying? A hammer and a nail don't have a rivalry. So that's kind of the way I look at the Jets. This year may be different. I mean, maybe this is finally the right coaching pick for them, and maybe this is finally the right quarterback for them. But how many? Yeah, I agree. Joe Adell was the right long-term move, especially given that. And I mean, Jameson Hanna again has played really, really well for us for 3 years, but I mean, he's a different kind of player, right? Hanna is kind of a slap hitter, on base type guy, whereas Joe Adell is a threat with the bat. I mean, as evidenced by his ratings. So. Yeah, Jolly Roger, I don't know. I mean, maybe this is the year that all the moves that the Jets make paid off, and we'll see. But, when you have the greatest coach of all time on your sideline, I'll take him over whatever the Jets are going to throw out there. So we'll see. We'll see. We will see. But, hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me tonight. We are about ready. Yeah, we have to set our playoff roster for the very first time. We are in year number 4, and we are setting our playoff roster for the very first time. What do we need? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pitchers. So it looks like we're missing a bat. Wow, he's eligible. I mean, I would love... Yeah, Dunn's just not ready to come back yet. Castillo's not ready to come back. Naylor's not ready to come back. We bring up... Do I really need a 14th pitcher? I mean, it's the postseason, so we're really going to be limited. I signed him, Jolly Roger. Here, I'll show you. I signed him. No, I traded for him. And then I extended him. That's right. We're going back a ways here. So all the way back in our first full season, we traded Ryan Velade and 4 minor leaguers for Joey Gallo. So let's see how they've done. So the first was Ryan Velade, who's now 25. He's doing okay for Texas. He's a decent first baseman. We have to go all the way back down here. Come on. Actually, I should just do it like this. Glenn Otto, who at the time we had picked up Otto from the Yankees. He was a good stuff, good movement, ground ball pitcher with bad control. So we traded him. He's not with the organization anymore. Who else? Helcris Olivares, who is... I don't think he's even up yet either. No, he's still an A-ball for them. Geraldo Perdomo, who is a 24-year-old who's with Miami now. He's not even with Texas anymore. And the last one was one of the Sheffield kids. And then I signed him. After we traded for him, we signed him in the offseason to a 4-year, at the time it was a 4-year, $100 million contract. So we had him in 2021. 2022 was the first year of the contract. 2023 is the second year. So he's got 3 years left. Well, that doesn't make sense. He must have had 2 years left. No, he had 2 years left in the contract when we signed him. So his contract was this year, 2023, and then 24, 25, 26. So, and he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good for us. You can see we traded for him in the offseason. 3 straight years of 40 home runs, 100 RBIs. He hit 240 this year. If Joey Gallo ever hit 240 in real life, he would be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you just go back and you look at some of these seasons, 209, 206, 181. I mean, if he could hit 240 regularly, he would be, with the type of defense he plays, he would be an elite player. So we got to call one more player up, and then we got to get to this. So who do we want to call up? Do we want to call up? I don't want to call up a third catcher. Do we call up the kid? Do we call up Sam Wesniak, the number 1 prospect in all of baseball? I don't think he hit the ball well enough in... I mean, we could call him up and potentially use him if we need... Yeah, and that's part of the reason. You mean he's good in Texas or he's good here in I mean, either way. He can hit the ball in both ballparks. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Rangers are close enough to anything, where Gallo is going to be part of that, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to call up the kid. Call up Wesniak, and we'll use him as a pinch hitter. Yeah, I mean, in Colorado, it was sort of a no-brainer. When Texas put him on the trade block, I was like, let's just do this for the memes, if nothing else. Because I knew we weren't going to be good for the first couple of years, and we had a ton of money to spend. So I sort of said, the hell with it. Let's throw the money at him and see how many home runs he can hit. All right, so I think our lineup is set. Yep, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to sim up. We're going to be taking on, looks like Mackenzie Gore. We'll take a look at... San Diego's roster here in a second, and then we'll jump into the game. All right, so we get to October 1st. Anthony Rendon wins the AL Batter of the Month. Juan Soto, the NL Batter of the Month. Lenny Torres of Cleveland, the Pitcher of the Month. Burl Carraway wins the NL Pitcher of the Month. AL Rookie Jaden O'Grady, and in the National League, Eddie Yean. Oh, Eddie Yean may win the Rookie of the Year. We'll see. I mean, he shouldn't. Vened was a 5-win player, 5.5-win player. All right, let's take a look really quickly at San Diego. They finished 102-60, 3 games up on us. My nose is still really itchy. My office is dusty, I think. So they had the best pitching staff in the National League. They were top half offensively. Morejon, Gore, and Paddock make up their 1, 2, 3. So it looks like we're going to be taking on Morejon. Offensively, I mean, you know what you're getting out of them, right? Tatis and Machado in the middle of their lineup. Robert Hassel the third. His rookie campaign was pretty nice. Hae-Sung Kim, in his third season, hit 20 home runs. Trent Grisham plays really good in center, provides some pop. I mean, obviously our offense is better, but pitching staff is going to go towards the Padres. All right, so we're going to play this game. Play game at San Diego. Yeah, I know. I just saw the ERA and went, if he threw more than 60 innings, that would have been rough. But yeah, with 60 innings, it shouldn't be the case. All right, so for the Padres, Hassel will bat leadoff, play right field. Kim bat second, play second. Tatis in the 3-hole playing short. Machado will bat cleanup and play third. Grisham bats fifth and plays center. Luis Camposano catching and batting sixth. Eric Hosmer, the veteran, bats seventh, plays first. Brian O'Grady plays left, bats eighth, and Morejon will bat ninth. For us, Enrique Hernandez gets the start against the lefty. Sherten Apostle will bat second and play first. Jose Ramirez bats third, plays third. Gallo in the cleanup spot playing right. Joe Adell bats fifth, plays center. Zach Veen bats sixth and is in left. Adalberto Mondesi batting seventh at shortstop. And Ali Sanchez is going to get the start behind the plate against the left-hander, and I don't want Logan Gilbert starting if I can help it, but of course my other starters are tired. And I don't want to start the rookie. I don't want to start Jack Leiter. All right, Logan Gilbert's going to get the start here. So let's get to this. And I realized after when I played opening day this year, I realized that I don't think you guys can hear the audio. Is that correct? Like, you can't hear the sound in the game, like the crowd and stuff. I hear it in my headphones, but when I did the playback of opening day, I noticed that I couldn't hear any audio. So I don't know how to fix that. If somebody else knows how to fix it, you can tell me, but I don't know how to fix that. So I love the ballpark. So let's get to it as Kike Hernandez steps in. 270 on the year. He's been our primary leadoff hitter against lefties all season. So let's see how this one goes. Cards from GM Game Chanel. I'll ask him. I will ask him. Kike hits that one out to right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. So that is why we start Kike Hernandez. And I got to turn that sound down because that's super loud. Game options. Can I turn it down, or does it have to be, is it just on and off? I don't think I've ever actually looked through this. Where is it? Camera view, dynamic zoom. Yeah, it's just enabled, and oh, here we go. Right here, right in front of me. Crowd volume. Let's turn that down. It's just really loud for me, guys, so. All right, we'll run with that. Okay, all right, so leadoff hitter on, Enrique Hernandez, Sherten Apostle. What pitching staff do I value, or what pitching stat do I value the most, or what do you look for? For me, a lot of it depends on the team that I'm playing. Let's get this next batter out of the way. So a 3-0 count to Apostle is outside for a ball, so first two runners reach here in the top of the first. Depends on who I'm playing. Like for the Rockies playthrough, that's still too loud. Sorry guys. Still too loud. I don't need music. Ambient noise frequency below average. All right. So for the Rockies, for example, I look for ground ball pitchers. I look for ground ball pitchers who have good movement. I tend to stay away from pitchers with low movement or pitchers who are fly ball pitchers because in Coors that's just a death sentence. But I gravitate towards high power as Ramirez hits that one out to right field. That gets down for a base hit. I think we load the bases here. Ooh, and Morejon is going to have to come out of the game. So he gives up 2 hits and a walk, and he gets pulled. So good luck for us. I prefer, just to kind of look at our pitching staff really quick, I love pitchers like Tyler Glasnow. And when we signed him, his stuff was over 90, and he was an extreme ground ball pitcher. I love these power pitching ground ball types. Those are probably my favorite. So those are the ratings. Those are the ratings I tend to look at. Stats, I look at, I think the same thing a lot of people do. I look at, your K to walk ratio, Ks per 9, walks per 9, home runs per 9, that sort of thing. But from a ratings perspective, I look at their movement, and I look at what kind of pitcher they are. I love the ground ball type pitchers, and I tend to lean on them. So, all right, bases loaded here. Top of the first inning, Jose Castillo comes in. He had a 3.38 ERA on the year. He's a lefty facing Joey Gallo. 0-2 pitch to our cleanup hitter. Gallo hits that one out to center field, or it's a pop-up on the infield. All right, so 1 out. Joe Adell comes up now. Strike 3. Are we gonna leave them loaded? Here comes the rookie Zach Veen. Full count pitch to him. Yep, that's a killer right there. Loading the bases, nobody out. They lose their starting pitcher in the first to injury, and we don't score. Some people prefer control. Some people prefer... Yeah, I would probably say, for me, it would probably... Again, generally speaking, not necessarily with the Rockies, because I think you have to really prioritize movement as the Rockies. But generally speaking, for me, it's power, control, movement. That would be how I would rate them. I love a good power pitcher. And you can get away with bad control or below average control if you're striking a lot of people out and not putting on and not giving up a ton of home runs. So for me, it's power, movement, control. All right, so Logan Gilbert facing Hassel the third. That was disappointing. Hits that one out to right field. Gallo's going to make the catch. And then we have Haesung Kim, who is a normal, so we'll let him pitch away. Grounded to second. 2 up, 2 down. And Fernando Tatis is a pull hitter, so we will shift our infield left. Shift our outfield left. 1-0 pitch to Tatis. Popped up on the infield. So 1, 2, 3 inning. Power is like velocity. I think so. There are pitchers who may have 98 to 100 velocity who don't have, a 95 power rating. But I think, I think power is more how many players can he strike out. Priority was stuffed by a lot, then control was slightly correlated with good WAR, but it was correlated with slightly more correlated with good WAR than movement, but it was close. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, Jolly Roger, I think you can have someone who can be a high stuff pitcher if he doesn't have high velocity. Like if you look at I'm thinking a pitcher who features a split-fingered fastball. He may strike out a ton of batters, but he may only throw the ball at 92, 93 miles an hour. Yeah, it's a combo of pitch type and velocity. So you can have a high stuff pitcher who isn't just velocity driven, but if he's got the right pitches, he can also be high stuff. So of course, Random does a significantly better job of explaining it than I do. So, all right, top of the second here, we got Mondesi, Sanchez, and Gilbert. Let's see what happens here. So 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Ali Sanchez stepping in now. And they're already on to their third pitcher, Michael Baez, coming in. Sanchez hits that one out to left. That's going to get down for a base hit. So we are into their bullpen early here. 3 hits. Logan Gilbert's going to square to bunt. Gets a good bunt down. So we do have a runner in scoring position with 2 out and Enrique Hernandez stepping in. 1-1 pitch to Kike. That one is driven out to left and gone. Kike Hernandez drives that one out to left, and we take a 2-0 lead. I didn't talk about Hernandez as one of my free agent pickups, but Kike was phenomenal this year for us as well. Enrique You can see 270, 354, 452, 806 OPS, 1.2 WAR, played 5 different positions for us. Was very, very good as our leadoff hitter. So Kike goes yard, puts us up 2-0. Hurt and Apostle now. 1-2 pitch to him. He strikes out swinging. So we're up 2-0 after an inning and a half. So they send up 4, 5, 6, Machado, Grisham, and Campusano. 2-1 pitch. That one's hit out to left, and the catch is going to be made out there by Veen. Okay, Grisham stepping in now, the lefty. He's a spray hitter. He hits that one out to left. Veen, I think, is going to make the catch in front of the warning track. Yep, 2 up, 2 down. So, Jolly Roger, I hope that answers your question. I think Random Task did it. He obviously did the actual research. I'm just talking out of my butt here, kind of telling you what I think. Random Task is giving you the reality of it. Campusano is a pull hitter, so again, we'll shift the infield left, shift the outfield left. 2-1 pitch to the catcher. Base hit up the middle. So first hit of the game for the Padres comes with 2 outs in the second. Eric Hosmer's an extreme pull, so we will shift hard right. And outfield will shift right as well. Comes the 2-1 pitch to Hosmer, grounded through the right side, through the shift. And Campusano is into third. So 2 out base runners here for the Padres. Brian O'Grady, the number 8 hitter, stepping in. Only has 27 contacts, so hopefully we can get through this. Here comes the pitch, and that one's blooped to center, and the catch is made out there. So, yeah, I guess that's a good point. You can take a pitcher that, just, I guess, take any pitcher, right, and just jack up his stuff, see how he does, and then try it again with his control all the way up, and then try it again with his movement all the way up, and see what the best results are. All right, so we go to the third, up 2-0. Jose Ramirez steps in. He singled in the first, and he walks here in the third. What is Alvar? So they're on to another pitcher. They're on to their 4th pitcher now. 4th pitcher here in the 3rd inning. So that injury to Morejon is doing a number on them. Gallo grounds that one to second, and they're going to get the fielder's choice. Okay, so Ramirez is okay. Oof, that scared me. Can remain in the game. Here comes Joe Adell. 3-2 pitch to him. That one's lined down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. And at the same time, the Red Sox hit the ball down the left field line for a home run. I'm watching the Red Sox here in front of me. Waiting for the mobile. Yeah, the mobile OOTP is huge news. People have been asking about that for, years. I have been it was a 2-run homer. Nice. Red Sox tied it. People have been asking for OOTP mobile. I've been an out-of-the-park baseball guy for, I think my first one was 07. And thank you for the follow. Homayun 1998. Appreciate that. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, that's been a huge that's huge news. All right, so Zach Veen looking to put us out even further ahead. 2-2 pitch in, they bring the infield in, and he strikes out. Adalberto Mondesi looking for a clutch 2-out hit, and he grounds out to second. So they're going through their bullpen, but they're hanging around. It's still 2-0. So 9-1-2 as they bring in a pinch hitter, Greg Christopher, against Logan Gilbert. And that's a pop-up on the infield. Catch is going to be made by the second baseman, Hernandez. Hassel steps in, the pull hitter. He's a lefty, so we shift right, and we shift right. Full count pitch to him is strike 3. Mobile OOTP has been in the works for like 5 years. OOTP movement is super important or not important based on the park. Yeah, right, and that's all right, Random Task. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, that's a great point. Some parks are pitchers' parks and where home runs go to die, and some are like Coors where they're not. And you need someone who has a lot of movement to keep those home runs down in Coors, but in a ballpark that's bigger, that may not necessarily happen. Jolly Roger, thank you for the follow as well, sir. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hae-Sung Kim stepping in. 2-2 pitch to him. is called strike 3. So 3 up, 3 down in the third for Gilbert. Ali Sanchez coming in against Steven Wilson as the Padres are on their 5th pitcher here in the 4th inning. 3-2 pitch to our number 8 hitter. Strike 3. Logan Gilbert laid down a sacrifice bunt last time. And here he bloops it out to center, and that's going to get down for a hit. So helping his own cause with a single here in the 4th. Back to the top of the order. Kike 2 for 2 with a home run. Smashes that one down the left field line into for a base hit. He's 3 for 3 here in 4 innings. He's got 3 hits already. Shirt and Apostle stepping in now, 2 on, 1 out. We have had a ton of chances in this one, and we're only I used to when I first started playing out of the park baseball. I came from, there's a game called Baseball Mogul. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I first started playing baseball simulations back in the early 2000s, and Baseball Mogul was the first one I played. Switched over to out of the park baseball, like I said, in about 2007-ish. And I played out, not only did I play out every playoff game, I played out everything. I played out every single game. I remember the first playthrough I did was with the 1967 Red Sox, and I played every game for like 9 years. I played until the mid to late 70s. I played every game, every single game. And it just got to take forever. It took me 3 years to do that, and it just got to be too much. So I've gotten more into simming, and then I play as the games are important, like this one. The Reds are a fun team. They've got some good talent on the big league roster as Ramirez strikes out. I mean, we've had a ton of chances, and we're only up 2-0. The Reds have got shift left and shift left. They've got some good talent in the minor leagues. They've got some good big league talent as well, so that'd be a fun team. Ball hit out to center field. Adele goes back, and he makes the catch in front of the warning track. Here comes Machado. 3-2 pitch to the cleanup hitter. Ball forced. They get a 1-out base runner. Trent Grisham now. 3-1 pitch to him. That one's grounded to second. Diving play there. On to first. Machado goes down to second. So a runner on second now. 2 outs. And Camposano is up. He singled in the 2nd inning. So we're going to shift left here against the... What am I doing? There we go. Against the pull hitter. 2-2 pitch. That one's popped up on the... Yeah, Hunter Green's a monster. I've seen him flame out in some of these playthroughs. I've seen him really, really flame out, but I've seen him also turn into a huge two-way player. I've seen him, both pitching and hitting. So, all right, so we go to the 5th inning. They're still on their 5th pitcher. We've had a ton of base runners, but we're only up 2-0. Gallo hits that one into the shift. He's going to ground out 4-3. Joe Adele now, 3-1 pitch to him. That one's outside for a ball. All right, so now they're on to another pitcher, Brandon Smith. His hold runners are 42. Joe Adele is a good base stealer, but doesn't have a lot of speed. So we're just going to swing away. I was thinking about hit and run, but Veen, and I'm glad I didn't, is that going to get out? No, it's going to be caught again up in front of the warning track. Thought that one had a chance for a second. All right, so we have Mondesi up now, 2 outs. Runner on first. Mondesi hits that one out to center. Catch is going to be made, so we're through 4.5. And it's still just 2-0. Gilbert's at 64 pitches. I need to start getting bullpen up here, I think. Caleb Ferguson. We're not going to take any chances at all. All right, so Gilbert's going to be facing Hosmer. He's an extreme pull, so hard shift right. And no, that's not the right one. Hard shift right. And shift right. There you go. 1-2 pitch to Hosmer. That one's hit out to center field. It's going to be extra bases. Leadoff double at least for Hosmer. Okay. So now we have Brian O'Grady stepping in. 0-2 pitch to him. Strike 3. I'm going to bring in a pinch hitter. Axel. Look at that name. Axel Peralta. I love it. Here comes the pitch to Peralta. That one's hit down the left field line. It's going to get down for a base hit. And, okay, they aren't going to score. All right. So is Caleb Ferguson ready? He's not. So we need to make a mound visit. Caleb Ferguson is ready. Hassel's a lefty. I think we go to Ferguson. It's only been 4 1/3 innings, but we have to win this game or our season is over. So we go to Caleb Ferguson in the 5th. First and third, Robert Hassel stepping in. 1-2 pitch from Ferguson to Hassel, and that one's going to be blooped over the shortstop for a base hit. Are you kidding? Damn. All right. So we're up 2-1. That one's popped out to center field. So, I wouldn't call that a pop out. That was a fly out to the wall. All right, so it's 2-1. Runner at third, and Fernando Tatis. So this is the biggest at bat of the game so far. Ferguson against Tatis, full count pitch, strike 3. All right, so we make it through 5. We are up 2-1. Anibal Sanchez against Henry Henry. His name is Henry Henry. His name is Henry Henry. Henry Henry. I did I traveled last season with the Chicago Dogs, which is a independent league baseball team just outside of Chicago here. And I traveled with them last year, calling their road games. Traveled to like North Dakota, South Dakota, Minneapolis. And one of the teams, I want to say it was Fargo Moorhead, I believe it was, had a pitcher named, it was like Luis, I think his name was Luis, and he was really good, but it just blew me away when I saw his name. Anyway, we get off track here a little bit. So Henry Henry's going to face Ali Sanchez. 0-1 pitch to our catcher. It's grounded back to Henry Henry. I'm gonna let Ferguson bat because I want him pitching the 6th. Grounded, and I'm glad I let him bat. He grounds one down the left field line for extra bases. So a double for Caleb Ferguson. Enrique Hernandez steps in. He has the big hit, a 2-run homer. He strikes out there. Sherten Apostle now, 2 outs, runner on second. And he strikes out. So the San Diego bullpen has done yeoman's work here. So it's Machado, Grisham, and Camposano facing Caleb Ferguson. He's grounded back up the middle. It's going to be an infield hit. Now Machado leads off with a single. Lefty on lefty here. Ferguson and Grisham, a 3-1 count is ball 4. I got to get somebody up. Get Tanner Scott up. Camposano, I need a double play ball here. Need a double play ball or a strikeout. And I'm not going to get either. Another infield hit. Crap. Okay. Eric Hosmer, infield at double play depth. I'm going to give up the game tying run here if we get a ground ball on the infield. And it hits him. Okay, so bases are still loaded. Visit the mound. And we bring in Tanner Scott. Well, this isn't going well, folks. All right, so Brian O'Grady. Infield in. He's going to walk him. 3-1 pitch to O'Grady is ball 4, and we are losing. So we had like 24 base runners on base in the first 4 innings. We could only score 2 runs, and we are now losing. So again, the infield in. 0-2 pitch to the pinch hitter. Strike 3. Back up to the top of the order in Hassel. Infield in. Grounded down the right field line. All right, well, that's going to score probably all 3. Oh, we are now down 5-2. Infield in again as we have to cut down this runner here. Tanner Scott. Grounded up the middle. Oh, man. We're now down 5. All right, so let's go back to this, and I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll get Brusdar Graterol up. Tatis, they've batted around. I'm going to steal second. Oh, he gets caught stealing, so that's nice. We finally get an out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that sets the side down. But San Diego scores 6. So we are now in a 5-run hole here to keep our season alive. So Jose Ramirez stepping in against Mackenzie Gore. So they brought in their starter to get through the next couple innings here, presumably. Ramirez pops out. Hey, Ranger, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, you finally caught a live stream. I don't know how much I've been going for about an hour and a half, and I'm feeling good. I've had some people in. We've been chatting, so this isn't looking good. We're in the 7th inning of the wild card game, and we are down by 5. It hasn't gone well. Like, if you look at the box score, it started out actually really, really good for us as their starting pitcher, Adrian Morejon, gave up 2 hits and a walk to the first 3 batters and got pulled with an injury. And they've gone through basically their entire bullpen and shut us down. We had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning. We couldn't score. We had base runners on in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. We couldn't score, and then they blew it open against our bullpen. Logan Gilbert had pitched well through 4 1/3, but he had given up a couple of hits in the 5th, so I brought in Caleb Ferguson, and he got smoked. So we are now down by 5 here in the 7th, but we may jump to, the pen has not performed well at all, which is something that I did not have a good bullpen this year. It's something we're definitely going to have to address in the offseason, and I may do the offseason in this episode, or at least start it. We'll see how I'm going, but let's continue. Let's try to get back into this. Joey Gallo steps in. Yeah, I mean, they brought in their best pitcher. They brought in their best starter, Mackenzie Gore, here in the 7th, so I'm not counting on much, but we'll see. All right, so let's go to Graterol, I guess. Face off against Machado. A pop-up on the infield. Yeah, so we brought in our 3 best bullpen arms, and so far it hasn't been great. So now it's Grisham, 3-2 pitch to him. That's a line out. Yeah, put that rally cap on, man. We're gonna need it here. And Campusano now, so we're gonna shift right or shift left as he is a pull hitter. 2-2 pitch from Graterol. Grounded into the shift, so finally a 1-2-3 inning. Yeah, so pulling Gilbert was, I don't know if you call it a mistake. I mean, I managed it, I think, like a big league manager would have managed it in real life. That, he gave you 4 1/3 good innings. He was starting to get hit a little bit, and you bring in your best reliever, and he just doesn't get it done. So, that is sort of what happens, I mean, what can you do? All right, so Zach Veen leads off against Mackenzie Gore. Veen with a leadoff single. All right, there we go. Let's see if we can get something going here. Mondesi now, 3-2 pitch to him. Strikeout swinging. And because it's a lefty, I need to stick with Sanchez. I don't want to bring in Romo to bat against a lefty. But I do need to get a bullpen arm up. And we'll get Schmidt up. He's not a bullpen arm, but we're going to get Schmidt up. Because assuming Sanchez doesn't hit into a double play, that's going to bring up Graterol. Strike 3. All right. So we got a lefty on the mound. We're going to bring up the kid. His first big league at bat is going to come in the 7th inning of a playoff game against Mackenzie Gore. Can he lean into one? Nope. Grounds out to second. Okay. So we are down at 2. Our final 3 outs. Clark Schmidt will come in, pitch the 9th. Eric Hosmer, he had the big hit. He had a double down the right field line in the 6th inning. And I didn't have the shift on. I had the infield in at that point because I was trying to cut down the runner at home plate, and that did not work. 3-2 pitch from Schmidt to Hosmer. Hits it to left, and there's a diving catch out there by Veen. Brian O'Grady now. Hits that one out to center. There's another catch. And Victor Caratini is going to pinch hit. That means we're going to see, what's this, the 7th pitcher, 8th pitcher of the game? Next inning for San Diego, as we need 5 runs. It's a base hit to left. No, I can warm up more than one. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, I guess I probably could have, but you've got the minimum 3 batter rule. So I mean, I could warm up multiple pitchers if I wanted to. Doyle, I guess we can get Doyle and Hamilton up. But I generally don't warm up more than one pitcher because I know who I want to. I typically know who I want to bring in. But you can't really work the left-right-left matchups like you could previously because you have the 3 batter rule. But here comes Hassel. He's a pull hitter. So we will shift right and see if we can get out of this inning. 0-2 pitch. Grounded to second and high throw, but the catch is made. All right, so here we go. We need 5 runs in the 9th. Carlos Bellin, who is their closer. Or is he their closer? Yeah, 33 saves on the year. Was hittable. It was certainly hittable, but we need a lot of hits to get back into this one. Kike hit a 2-run homer back in the 2nd, accounted for the only runs of the game. Bloops that one to right, so we get a leadoff hit. All right. Okay, so it's something. Sherton Apostle now. 3-2 pitch to him. Strike 3. Jose Ramirez steps in. Ball 4, so we get 2 on, 1 out. Joey Gallo stepping in. Gallo pops that one out to left, so we're down to our last out. And it is in the person of Joe Adell. And that's it. All right, so we made our very first postseason. So that's good. This playoff game wasn't. But I think we'll start the postseason. I'm here and no reason not to. So yeah, box score. Kike Hernandez 4 for 5, had a really good game. Sherton Apostle had to get the start for Josh Naylor, who was injured, was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Ramirez reached base 3 times, 1 for 3. Gallo was 0 for 5. Adell 1 for 4. Veen 1 for 4. Mondesi 0 for 4. Ali Sanchez with a hit and a run scored. Gilbert with a hit for. So our pitchers were 2 for 2 batting. On the other side, Hassel 2 for 5, 3 runs knocked in. Kim had 2 runs knocked in. Camposano and Hosmer each had 2 hits. But it was pitching. Logan Gilbert pitched well for the first 4 1/3. And then our bullpen, well, specifically Ferguson and Scott, our 2 most dependable relievers, got lit up. Yeah, they come and jump around like goofballs, yeah. Gratterall and Schmidt each pitched scoreless innings. That first inning, man, that was it. We couldn't make a dent in that first inning when we loaded the bases against Morejon, and that set the tone for the game. Castillo came in, shut it down. We were able to get a run off Baez, but we should have gotten more. And yeah, they had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitchers in this game to defeat us 7-2. And you can see, Ranger, you haven't been around for most of the stream, but you can see we finished 99 and 63. We finished with the 3rd best record in baseball, and we finished in 3rd place in our division. Doesn't get much unluckier. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but much more unlucky than that. So let's go ahead and let's sim to... What do we want to sim to? We'll just sim to the end of the playoffs and see what happens. So Seattle beat the Red Sox in the postseason, so it's going to be San Diego and the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Braves, the Indians and the Mariners, the Astros and the Rays. Astros are up 2-0. Dodgers are up 2-0. Braves are up 2-0. So the Astros advance. Mariners 2-1 over the Indians. Padres and Brewers hang on. And, of course, all my players are going to start to be eligible to come off. Yeah, they're all going to start to be unhurt now, of course. It's funny. I had said at sort of in the middle of October, it was like the first, second week of October, I had mentioned how I had gotten pretty lucky with injuries in terms of not having them. And then, no joke, within 3 days, I lost 3 pitchers and Josh Naylor. And they were all important pitchers. So Dodgers move on, Braves move on, Mariners and Astros in the American League, they're tied at 1. Dodgers are up 2-0. always the Dodgers, man. It's always the freaking Dodgers. I hate it. There, Castillo is back. And so the Dodgers are up 3-1. Astros are up 3-2. It's going to be if it's the Dodgers and the Astros, that's so boring. Yeah, I've thought about it. And here comes Naylor. I've thought about it, but then I have a season like this, honestly, where I just didn't have that many injuries. They just all happened at the same time. They all happened literally within like 3 or 4 days of each other. Crash Davis is retiring. He's been in our minor league system for like 3 years. Oh, my nose. My nose has been itching me for like 2.5 hours now. I think it's my office. There's a lot of dust in here. Because I don't clean it. Because, I'm lazy. So I don't dust things. 2-2 here. Astros and Dodgers. I don't care about Will Sandy. Dodgers look like they're going to win. Yeah, I'm going to keep going, I think. I don't... I thought about stopping here at the end of the season, but I've been going for about an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm good. If you guys are good, I'm going to hang out here for a bit. I don't want to talk to myself, but if you guys are going to be here for a bit, I'll stay for a while. So the Dodgers win the World Series. We make the postseason for the first time, so it is absolutely an improvement. It is absolutely development. I'm happy with the way the season with the way the season went. I'm not happy with the way the season ended, but I'm definitely happy with the way the season went. By far our best season, 99 and 63. Yeah, so it was a good year. So let's take a look at the notes, or I guess the emails, really quickly, and see what we got here. So Adalberto Mondesi, decision option year needed. I think this is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. I mean, you look at the season that Mondesi had last year: 303, 343, 545, put up an 878 OPS, a 112 OPS plus, 5.5 WAR. Was very, very good defensively. I think paying him $7 million is a no-brainer. So we will execute that option without a doubt. So season goals, he wanted us to make the playoffs, which hoped we'd make the playoffs, but didn't expect it. Zach Veen, top left fielder, and I'll show you all this stuff, Ranger, as we kind of go, because you missed kind of the stat overview. But Veen's rookie season, 40 home runs, 116 RBIs, 5.4 WAR, well on pace for the Rookie of the Year. He wanted us to improve our bullpen. We couldn't. We improved it, but not much. He wanted us to acquire an MVP. We signed Jose Ramirez, and Ramirez was an absolute monster. He will likely be the National League MVP. Led the league in runs, hits, OPS, WAR, 36 home runs, 56 doubles. He was everything we wanted him to be. We increased attendance, not quite as much as they wanted, but we still brought in over 40,000 a year. He's happy that we completed the challenge of making the playoffs. He's happy with our performance. And bear in mind, I do have myself set up to not be fired, so ultimately these don't matter. But I still like to meet those goals. So he wants us to achieve a winning record this year, improve our stolen bases, increase attendance, and continue our current record of success in the next 3 seasons. So we have a new budget. Team payroll of about $150 million, so that means we have a little bit. We got about $11 million to play with. We'll see what that means for... That number will probably go up with arbitration, so we'll see. As the Red Sox, take the lead in the 8th. I got the Red Sox. I got Sunday Night Baseball game on here, so... I'm not interested in getting... I'm not playing this to get fired. I'm doing this to try to win this series, to win the way I want to build it, not the way they want to build it. And if I had to focus on improving my stolen bases, that's not really, I'm not really interested in that. So our contract is extended. Top prospects, we have the number 2 prospect, the number 6 prospect, and the number 9 prospect still. So we are still the number 1 team, are still the top minor league system in the majors. We have 3 of the top 15, 4 of the top 20. It's going to be really interesting to see what I'm going to do with Wesniak. That bat, he could easily be a 35 home run, 400 on base guy, but he doesn't have a position. He could play second base if his numbers improve here a little bit, but I don't know. But we'll get to that. We will get to that. What else? Offseason, arbitration, okay. White Sox were sold. Detroit fired their coaches. Kansas City fired their coaches. A lot of GMs terminated. A lot of head coaches terminated. So we got to get right on to salary arbitration. All right. So pending free agents, Caleb Ferguson, Tanner Scott. I'm not really interested in bringing Ferguson back. I mean, he wasn't very good. 1.5 WAR out of a bullpen arm isn't terrible, but his BABIP was high. But this, when we traded for him, I mean, if we look at his scouting, yeah, I mean, look at this. And his ratings, his overall ratings, his stuff has just plummeted here. His control and his movement have stayed pretty stagnant, but his stuff has dropped from, we picked him up where? We picked him up here. He was at about a 90, and now he's down to a 75. So that's not encouraging at all. Tanner Scott wasn't very good either, so we'll probably let him walk. So we have to figure out what we're gonna offer these guys. And I liked, and this is something I've mentioned, does Wesniak have the ratings to learn leftos? The infield ratings are terrible. The problem is I don't know if I don't have a spot for him in the outfield. If you look at our outfield, we had Zach Veenan left, who had 40 home runs, drove in 116, led the National League in slugging, was second in OPS, put a 5.4 WAR. We had Joe Adell in center, who had 5.3 WAR, hit 30 home runs, and drove in 105. We have Joey Gallo in right, who has 3 straight years of 40 home runs, led the National League in RBIs. And then we have Drew Jones in the minor leagues. I mean, he's still a bit away, but I don't have any place to play him. That's the problem. So I don't know. I mean, he might, maybe we can try moving him into left field, but even as a backup, it's not going to play because we have Jamison Hanna there, and he's very good in the outfield. So I mean, Hanna's our backup outfielder. So I don't know what we're going to do with him. I may try to flip him to see what we can get for him. If I could get a pitching prospect or an elite shortstop prospect or something, because Mondesi's signed this year. He's got another team option for next season, but I don't know if beyond that, I don't know what to do. And if Mondesi starts to drop, we may need to move on from him. So I'm not entirely sure. All right, so arbitration. I like to offer everybody arbitration simply because you get that fan interest bump if the player is locally popular, rather than actually taking them to arbitration. I'm not going to give Gilbert this kind of money. He certainly wasn't good enough. 10-6, 5.54. He wants $1 million, so I'm just going to offer him a 1-year deal at like $950, maybe $965. And then I'm just going to do the same thing with everybody. Sandoval wants he was really bad, though. But he's a ground ball pitcher. He's not overly popular, and he doesn't want a lot of money. So, I mean, for 1.2, that's not 125. That's not a bad number for a back of the bullpen guy at this point. Clark Schmidt wants 2.9. He's gotten better over the years, so I'm good giving him that. Again, I don't want to give him a long-term deal. He wants 2.94. Yeah. So we can give him 2.8. I don't know, 7.5. Will he take that? Yeah, he will. All right. Rafael Dolis, I think, is done. He's down to like 2 stars. Yeah, Dolis is done, so we'll withdraw the offer there. Gratterall, his numbers have slipped since we got him from the Dodgers, but I think he's an effective ground ball pitcher, especially for 2.7, which is about what he's going to get. Yeah. Ian Hamilton has been really, really good, honestly. The ERAs haven't been great the last 2 years, but he's been a solid, and we got him off the waiver wire, so I will certainly bring him back. And we have Tim Hill. Tim Hill, extreme ground ball lefty, really good movement. I think that has value, even though he only pitched in 5 games last year. The sinker type pitcher, I think he should be brought back. Actually, it's probably not going to do it, is it? Yeah. Ali Sanchez is next. He wants 3.2, which we can afford because we are paying Drew Romo the minimum, and having this type of defensive catcher out there, I think, is huge. We give him 3? No, so 3,050. Yep. So that saves us a little bit of money. That'll bring Ali Sanchez back. Josh Naylor had an okay season, back-to-back 20 home run seasons. He's not very good. Maybe this is what we do. Maybe we can. Ali Sanchez, yeah. Ali Sanchez is like my favorite player and one of my favorite players in this game. I try to get him with basically every team I have. He hits enough to be a starter, but doesn't usually care if he is a starter or not. So I end up plugging him in as a backup in a lot of cases. So here's something interesting. We talked about Wesniak. I could probably make him a first baseman. I mean, that his range isn't great, his error is not great, but I mean, he's better than Naylor. He's better than Naylor as a first baseman. So Naylor may be on the move now that I think about it, especially at what he wants. So we'll offer him contract extension. We'll pay him $3 million, and then once we get to free agency, we'll take a look. And Zach McKinstry just had a breakout season. He was terrific. 37 doubles, 15 home runs, 382 on base percentage, batting leadoff, was above average defensively. I am, along with his positional flexibility, I am perfectly okay with paying him 4.2. Is that 4.2? No, that is. All right. So there are our arbitration offers. We offered to everybody except for Dolis. We're not going to offer qualifying offers to Ferguson or Scott. We can't do anything with Snell or Castillo. A lot of minor league free agents. I'm just going to do it this way. I can't be bothered, so we are going to do it like this. And we're just going to offer them all contracts and see what happens. All right, let's sim up to... We'll sim through the awards, but it will likely stop us. Ah, my nose. Man, this is killing me. All right, so here are our needs. Kevin Shackelford doesn't want to come back. That's fine. I don't care. So our needs. Bullpen. I think bullpen is our first 2 or 3 needs. And any substantial money that we spend is probably going to go into the bullpen. I think our starting pitching is fine. I think it's okay. Our outfield is more than fine. We don't need to do anything with our outfield really for quite some time, as we're set in all 3 positions. We're set as with our backup, and we have our top prospect. So we don't need to do anything with our offense. We could use... maybe if we can find a first baseman who is a good bat but also a good glove. I'm thinking like a Freddie Freeman type, not necessarily Freddie Freeman, but a Freddie Freeman type, and then we can move on from Naylor. Or do we try to make Wesniak the first? So we don't have a ton of holes. Maybe a shortstop if we can find somebody better than Mondesi, but Mondesi played really well for us. So I don't know that we have a lot of holes, but we'll see what's available. So here, again, this is why I do it, because we get the fan bump for the contract signings. We get a fan bump for Gilbert, fan bump for McKinstry, and it's not much. It's only, I think, 1 point each, but that bumps us up over 90. And I think I can increase our ticket prices as well because of the year we had. All right, so let's keep going. Most of the minor league free agents are signing. There are a couple that aren't. I'm not really concerned about those. We'll let those players walk. And this was a mistake, by the way. This is coffee. I don't drink, but this is coffee, and having a coffee at 8, 9 o'clock at night. The reason I'm still going is because of this coffee. I'll probably be up until 2 or 3 in the morning, and I have to work tomorrow. But whatever. I don't care. I don't care. So who turned to Tai Chi? Jose Quintana turned to Tai Chi to revitalize his career. All right, so Gold Glove winners in the American League: Dean Kremer, MJ Melendez, he's another one that I love. I love to pick up Melendez if I can't get Ali Sanchez, and sometimes I like to pair the 2 of them because Melendez has got the great defensive ratings. He's also a good power hitter, so I like to pair Sanchez and Melendez together. Matt Olson, Andre Jimenez, Matt Chapman, no surprises there. Nick Allen, Oscar Mercado, Parker Meadows, Jason Hayward. And in the National League, do we have anybody? No. Bryson Stott, Eric Hosmer, Real Muto, Zach Gallen, Stephen Alame. That's not a surprise. He's fantastic defensively in this. Robinson, Pache, and Bryce Harper. Reliever of the year. We're certainly not going to have. Yeah, and that's when I'm looking for a catcher, and Jolly Roger asked a question earlier about what I look for in pitchers. The difference that an elite defensive catcher can make to your pitching staff is almost as important as any single pitching rating that you are going to have on any one of your pitchers, which is why I love Ali Sanchez, because he's so good defensively. I just happen to have a young catcher who's just as good in Drew Romo. He's better with the bat, and he's just as good with the gloves. So before I do anything, before I worry about my pitching staff, I always try to find that high defense catcher. And if you can find someone who's a captain as well, that's huge, especially if you're trying to do a rebuild, because you need those captains to keep the clubhouse from going into disarray. There's nothing worse than players demanding to be traded and that sort of thing. So yeah, finding those players to come in to keep the clubhouse happy is huge. No, we didn't win the reliever of the year. Air reliever of the year is Edwin Diaz. Is it Vonderson? It's probably Wanderson Charles. And in the National League, Sir Anthony Dominguez. Is he a free agent? He's a free agent, so that might be a name and he's a ground ball pitcher. This may be somebody that we look to target right off the bat, assuming they don't sign him between now and then. All right, so Platinum Stick or Silver Slugger, whatever you want to call it. I've never changed it. In the American League, Christian Vazquez, now of the Houston Astros. 25 home runs for Christian. Pete Alonso for the Indians, LeMahieu, Wander Franco, Didi Gregorius of the Red Sox, Eloy Jimenez, Mike Trout, Austin Meadows, and Andrew Vaughn. And we should see our names all over this one. Or not. We get Jose Ramirez at third and Joe Adell in center, and that's it. Yeah, Trey Turner was better than Mondesi. Not by much, but he was better than Mondesi. I would argue that Veen was better than Soto. But that's okay. So we get two Silver Sluggers. That works. Rookie of the Year. This should be our award. If it's not, I'm going to be, yep. Zach Veen wins the AL Rookie of the We'll look at this first. So Jaden O'Grady, 286, 34 home runs, 96 RBIs. The Rays they always find players like this. Like, he's 26 years old. Like, where did this guy come from? Just a scouting discovery. And I hate the Rays. And in the National League, Zach Veen, Carson Montgomery, who, man, I wish we could have picked him up. He ended up we had the fourth pick, and this was last year's draft, the 2023 draft, where we picked up Guess. Guess was the number 4 pick. Montgomery was the number 1 pick. And this is just ridiculous. I mean, this is almost as good a starting pitcher as I have ever. I mean, look at his pitches. He's got 394 plus pitches, 100 stuff. I mean, he's going to strike out 300 batters if he pitches 200 innings coming up pretty soon. That's just crazy. Wow. All right. So, Manager of the Year could be us. Nope. It's Dave Roberts. And in the American League, it's Eric Binder of the Astros. Cy Young. Who gets the Cy Young? Montgomery. So he finishes second in the Rookie of the Year award, but finishes first in the Cy Young. Go figure. Aaron Savale of the Indians picks up the Cy Young in the American League. 19-5, 2.52. And Montgomery is your NL Cy Young winner at age 22. And the most valuable player. Does this go to Jose Ramirez? It better. Let's see what we get. Yes! We get the MVP. Andrew Vaughn in the American League. Pete Alonso, Austin Meadows finished third. And in the American League, Jose Ramirez, 329, 36 home runs, 126 knocked in. Bud is my manager. Well, I play as the manager, so I don't have an actual manager listed, so it lists me as the manager. So yeah, I don't think any of these guys are up. I think I re-signed them all. Yeah. So yeah, I'm technically the manager and the GM. What was I looking at? Oh, the MVP. Right. Jose Ramirez, Acuna, Machado. Zach Veen finishes 4th as a rookie. So very nice. We get 1 and 4 in the MVP award. A couple of players being posted. Neither of them are any good. So now we can go up to free agency. And we don't have a ton of money. I think we'll have somewhere in the vicinity of $10 to $12 million, which, unless we try to move a contract, means we're probably looking at one good bullpen piece or 2 average bullpen pieces. So we'll see. We will see what we have available to us. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for another hour, roughly. So it gets us till about 10 o'clock Central Time. We'll see how close we are to the end of the off season. If we're close, I'll just finish. But if we're not, then I may have to break this up into the second half of the off season will be a recorded episode. All right, so international free agents. Juan Soto files for free agency. International. Anybody any good? Be nice to pick up a bullpen piece here. They don't often want a lot of money when they're international. But doesn't look like there is anybody there. Nope, not a soul. So free agents. A couple of good batters in there. Soto, Moncada is in there. Marcelo Zuna, Brandon Nimmo. But we don't need any outfielders. All right. Leadoff double for the Red Sox in the 9th. Looking to sweep the Yankees for the first time in 2 years. Sorry, I get sidetracked here. All right, so we have $23 million. We have more than I thought. So if we look at, so again, what we need is pitching. So we got to get Dunn back in there. So our starting rotation is pretty much set. Glasnow, Dunn, Schmidt, Gilbert, and Leiter. We also have, we should probably just do this now. We have Ben Guess, who's going to come up next season. We have Duplantier, who can start. Anybody else who's ready? I mean, we can call up Tebow. Jackson Bennett is ready. I forgot about him. He developed pretty substantially this past season. So we certainly don't need any starters. We are set on the starter front. And actually, with the development of Bennett, that allows me to keep Guess in AAA for a little bit longer. I think I'd like him to get some more time in AAA just to let that movement develop. That movement scares me a little bit in Coors, but once he gets that up to 48 or 50, we'll be fine. So we don't need any starters. What we need are bullpen pieces. We need at least 2 bullpen arms that are better than anything we have there right now. So that's going to be, I think, the main strategy. We're set on starting pitching. Our lineup is really fine. I am perfectly content going into next year with Hernandez and McKinstry at second base, with Mondesi at short, Naylor at first, maybe Wesniak if we need to move on from Naylor. So it's bullpen. It's bullpen all day. So let's go to relievers. So we do have Sir Anthony Dominguez. He wants $13 million. Logan Webb doesn't want any money at all. I mean, sure. I'll offer him a minor league contract. So Dominguez wants $13 million. I think I want to take a run at the top 2 guys on this list. I think I want to take a run at Diaz, and he's neutral. Anderson's a fly. Yeah, I mean, a fly ball pitcher with 27 movement in Coors is just a recipe for disaster. So I think I want to make a run at Diaz and Dominguez. What do you think? Think that's the right move? I mean, that's gonna basically kill what we have left for free agency, but it feels like that's what we need to do. It feels like we need to just dive in and just get it done, because offensively we're fine. If we need a few $1 million, we can, like I said, we can move on from Naylor if we want to, or if we need to cut our scouting budget or something, we can do that. But I feel like I don't want to give a comp pick for any of these top guys. I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I mean, there's not really anybody here that's better than what we currently have. So I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to come here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right off the bat, I'm going to give Dominguez an offer. And then I'm going to wait a bit on Diaz to see if that number comes down. And then if he signs with somebody, we can sort of take a left-hand turn and reevaluate. So he wants 5 years. I don't want to give him 5 years. Let's see if he'll take 3 at 10. I mean, that's a huge pay cut based on what he was asking for, but sometimes relievers will do it. Okay, so we're getting close. He wants 5 years. What about 4 at 10? I want to see if it's the money that he's after or if it's the years that he's after. Okay, so he'll take 4 at 10, and I think I'm okay with that. He's a ground ball pitcher. Oops. Stuff is good. Movement's good. He's got 2 really good pitches. He's coming off of 3 really, really good seasons as the Phillies closer. Yeah, I think 4 at 10, I think I'm fine with. So we will offer that. And that's going to be kind of the only offer we make right off the bat. I'm curious what we have for trading block. Holy crap. Okay. I mean, I gotta try, right? I gotta try. Can we put together a blockbuster here with Toronto? So where would I start? I would start with Logan Gilbert. I'm not wasting your time. Would you take the top prospect in baseball? Oh, I gotta shut off commissioner mode. So I had commissioner mode on, just Ranger, because you're late to the party here. So last night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, I loaded up my save just to make sure everything was sort of where it needed to be and everything was ready to go. And all my minor leagues were gone. The 2 expansion teams were gone. I had entire international leagues that were just empty, that didn't have any players in it. So my save had corrupted, and it was unsavable. Thankfully, I had a backup that was about 18 months prior, so it was like May of 2023. So I spent the day today replicating every move that I had made and to the day, not just the trades, but like injuries. So if somebody got hurt for 3 weeks in my initial playthrough, I put them out for 3 weeks in this playthrough. If somebody got hurt in this playthrough and they didn't get hurt in the other playthrough, I was in commissioner mode and I was deleting the injuries. So I had to go through and I was fortunate enough, obviously, that I had been recording all of these and posting them to the GM Games channel. So I was able to sit and just watch the videos. And as I watched the videos, I made the moves. So I spent about 6 hours today just watching all of my previous videos and replicating the moves. But obviously I had to be in commissioner mode to force some of the deals through that for some reason weren't wanting to be made like they were in the initial playthrough. So that's why I was in commissioner mode. Funny though, season ended up almost exactly the same. So when I got back to August 1st, which is where I had left off the last episode, I was 3 games better than I was during the initial playthrough. So worked out perfectly. But that's why I was in commissioner mode. I wasn't cheating. Anyway, all right, let's go back here. So if I add Adele or Dunn, I can have Mitch Keller. Well, I don't want to add Adele or Dunn. What about Thibaut McCartier? Doesn't do it. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think they're going to want this. I mean, this is 3 players that are 4 stars or more and Logan Gilbert, and it hasn't even moved the needle out. In fact, the lighter made it worse. So I'm not sure how that works, but all right, so Jackson Bennett moves the needle. Yeah, I guess I still finished in 3rd place, so it didn't really matter. I was in 3rd place in the last playthrough. I ended up in 3rd place in this one. But I just, I was talking to Chris about it on Discord today, and he even said, you should just, pick a new team and start over, this happens, and I was like, but I don't want to. I was so excited for kind of what I've built. I'm the trades I've made, I've been very, very happy with. I'm really happy with my prospect pool, and I wanted to see it through. So I was like, I'll just do the work, whatever. It's a Sunday. I'll just, I got nothing else going on, so I just kind of went through and did it. So, all right, so it doesn't look like this is going to happen. I would love to have Mitch Keller on my team, but not with what they're asking for. It probably makes... Whoa, Justin Dunn. Where did that come from? Holy crap. That came out of nowhere. That spike is pretty nuts. That wasn't something I did, was it? I gotta go back and look. The other thing I had to do in commissioner mode was there were a couple of players whose ratings were either significantly higher or significantly lower in the second playthrough, and I had to edit their stats or edit their ratings to get them back to where it should have been. Yeah, there's something wrong here. His fastball's 200. Yeah, his stuff should not be a 239. This isn't right. So what were his strikeouts? What were his strikeouts this season? Struck out 189 and 174 innings. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit this down because that's not right. This may have been something I did, so I want to make sure that it gets fixed. 189 and 174. All right, it knocks his stuff back down. So that should, once we get another scouting report, that should fix it. Yeah. Okay. that was something. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I just want to make sure that I didn't do something to create this. So his stuff has been right around 70, so that's kind of where it should be. All right, let's go back to the trade block. So what else do we have on here? We have an Alex Reyes. Toronto's looking to move a lot of their bullpen arms. Andre Munoz. He was really good. All right, we're going to pause there, at least pause when it comes to signing players. We're going to go ahead and sim ahead here a little bit and get up to Hall of Fame voting. Check my phone really quick. Cool. All right. See if we can pick up a Sir Anthony Dominguez. Anyway, what I was saying about Dunn was that while he would be a worthwhile trade chip for Keller, the contract he's signed to is fantastic. $1 million this upcoming season, 6, 10, and 10. And Keller's probably going to want $35 or $40 million, and I don't know that I can afford that with what I have tied up in Ramirez, and specifically Ramirez and Gallo. All right, so where are we in the offseason? So Diaz is still there. Dominguez is still, offer is still pending. Let's do some Hall of Fame voting. Love me some Carlos Beltran. Love me some Adrian Beltre. Gotta vote for Bartolo Colon. Tim Hudson, I think, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's not going to get there, but I think he deserves to be. Andrew Jones, I think, deserves to be there. He's not going to get there either. We'll vote for Hudson. Who else we got? Joe Mauer. I think he deserves to be in as a catcher. So I guess he's being listed as a catcher, so I can vote for him. As a first baseman, he certainly doesn't deserve to be in, but I think he does as a catcher. I'm not going to vote for Pettit. Not going to vote for Manny as much as I am going to vote for Manny. Screw Pettit and the Yankees. I'm going to vote for Manny. Ichiro. I got 2 more. Omar Vizquel. I think the glove played good enough. We got to get Billy Wagner in there. He's not going to get in. He's only going to get 30% of the votes or something. And we'll submit the ballot. All right, well, let's keep going. Let's get up to the winter meetings and see if we can get some information back on Dominguez. Oh, God, my nose. It's been going on all night. All right, so Dominguez likes our offer. Webb does not like our offer. I do consider him a major league player, but he only wants a minor league contract. I mean, sure, I'll offer you a major league contract. I don't care. Okay, fine. You want 1.6? I'll give you 1.6. All right, let's keep going. So I think bullpen, I mean, that's obviously going to be our focus. I mean, you just look at the offensive ratings here, and we're pretty solid there. Yeah, bullpen is the way to go. So we're gonna try to load up our pen this year with power arms and see how that works. All right, so we do pick up Sir Anthony Dominguez, 4 years, $10 million a year. He immediately becomes our best pitcher. So we will stick him on the big league roster, place on active roster. Nick Anderson signed, so he was one of those top bullpen pieces that I wasn't going to do anything with. Let's go in now and see if we can lowball Mr. Diaz here a little bit. He's 30. He's asking for 11. So I will do 3 years, 2 team options. Let's see if he does this. Will he take 3 years at $8 million with 2 team options? No. All right, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to keep simming ahead and see if we can get him to come back to us and say, let's talk. Anybody else? Alvarado. He's a ground ball pitcher. He wants 5. Maybe if Diaz falls through, Alvarado is somebody that we can look into. Corbin Burns. Oh, he's not the same Corbin Burns in this. Guy out of Japan. Here's the other Keller. He went pitch for Kansas City for a while. All right, let's go back and look at the trade block, see if anybody... Yeah, a lot of players have been added. Okay. Zach Britton, when I tried to trade for him before, he wouldn't waive his no trade clause. Yeah, he's not waiving his no trade clause. So I can't trade for him. Liam Hendricks, fly ball pitcher. Kyle Keller. He looks to be okay. Fill in as a setup man. A lot of starters on the trade block. Luzardo, McCullers, Strasburg, Griffin Canning, Mitch Keller, Zach Gallen. I mean, I'd love Zach Gallen. I don't think they would give him to me. Yeah. All right, so no Zach Gallen. Let's take a look, though, at Kyle. Oh, he's out for 11 months. Never mind. Fly ball pitcher. Toronto's looking to trade their entire pitching staff, it appears. Yeah, I want Britton, but I can't get him. I want Keller, but I can't get him. I want Gallen, but I can't get him. And then the players I don't want are the ones that I can trade for. Kirby Yates. No. All right, let's just keep going. Oh, damn it. Barnes gave up a run in the 9th. Munoz is only 25, but he's making $7 million. All right, well, let's keep going. I want to... Let's just try. Let's just see what happens when we do this. Let's offer Josh Naylor. See if we can maybe we can make Wesniak a first baseman. We're getting a lot of pitching offers. I don't know if any of them are going to be any good. Yeah, that's pretty much trash, unfortunately. Tampa Bay offering some decent pieces. Decent's debatable. Yeah, there's not really. Let's just do this. Let's see all players. Let's see what we get. Oh, yeah? Who is your cousin? Is he pitching the big leagues or is he a minor leaguer? Who? Who? Maybe I'll try to trade for him either way. It's got to be, right. So, who is it? Cookie Monster? Or Zach Little, San Francisco? Where'd he go? Let's do it like this. Is it 2 T's? Oh, there you go. You guys should be best friends. And no offense, man, but he's not very good. At least not in OOTP in the year 2024. He might be good down the road, but not for what we need. But hey, man, he's making some cake. Maybe you should hit him up a little bit. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. I'm sure professional athletes hate it when family members hit them up for money. Well, anybody hates it when they get hit up for money. All right, so what are we doing? Winter meetings. We're at the end of the winter meetings. I was offering Josh Naylor up. Nobody was interested. Let's see if there's any interest in Wesniak. I don't want veterans. But yeah, you guys should be best friends now. There you go. You got a cousin who pitches for the Giants and Rangers is a Giants fan. So there you go. All right, so we get some pitching prospects. Is there anybody... because look at Wesniak, guys. He's 25, so the development isn't there yet, but, and he's close enough that I think he could be as good, if not better, than Naylor already. So, to move him, I would need something of substance. Not really getting anything. So we may just hang on to both of them and just see what happens. You got to remember, it is 4 years down the road, so we don't know what happened to him in those 4 years that he could have gotten hurt. He could have, something could have happened to him. I don't know. But yeah. The one thing that OOTP did, which I'll never understand, and I hope that you guys have never done this, is they include the Twitter handles, so you can actually tweet to these guys, hey, you screwed up in my fictional video game version. It's like when you tweet somebody, you tweet a football player for jacking up your fantasy football team. Just don't do it, right? Just don't click on this button here and send Reed Detmers a tweet. It's just don't do it. Detmers is really good though. I might look to see if I can pick up Detmers. Whoa. Oh, he's making $8 million with a team option for next year. I think the Red Sox just lose? No, it's a foul ball. Sorry, I'm distracted. Bottom of the ninth, it's 4-4. So I'm distracted. Yeah, I'm never gonna sit here and complain about ratings for OOTP. The way they rate their players. This is about as perfect a sports simulation as you're gonna get. So I will never complain about stuff like that. The only complaint that I have is, and it's minor, is the injuries. I think there are occasionally too many injuries, but beyond that, I won't ever complain about anything these guys do. This is like I said, about as perfect a game as you're gonna get. So can we get Detmers without giving up Wesniak? That's the question. We can, but I'm not prepared to give him up for any of these people. So is there another bat or another glove or another pitcher, we can move to make this work? I'd like to move on from Radiel Martinez. That actually makes it worse. What about Duplantier? I mean, I'll just move a bunch of my garbage and see if they'll take it. Oh, Sandoval's down to 2 stars. That drop happened precipitously. Ian Hamilton. All right, let's just submit that and see what type of response we get. You tweeted at a random NHL goalie that never sniffed the NHL. I mean, when you're 14, it's okay. I think when you're 14, it's all right. What about Naylor instead? Yeah, we can try that. As soon as they tell us no here, we can go back in and try that. It's a good call out, Jaron. You've given me some good good tips and some good advice, and one of those was Joe Adell in that previous offseason, and you just see the kind of year he had. 5.3 WAR. He was phenomenal. All right, let's keep going. Let's wait for them to tell us no, and then we'll try it again. Are they not gonna? Is this gonna be one of those deals where they never give us an answer? Looks like it might be. Okay. All right, so let's try that again. Let's go back to... not there. Go here. Los Angeles. Where is he? Can't think of a good reason to accept this offer. So he doesn't like, okay. Yeah, I mean, but what if we do that and then do this and then do I want to give up Naylor? Because here's what we would do. If we traded Naylor for Detmers, that improves the bullpen, weakens our offense, presumably, because we know what we're going to get. We know roughly what we're going to get out of Naylor. You love the draft. What draft? The Major League Baseball? What are you talking about, Breeze? You're confusing me here. Tried to get into OOTP a couple of times. You haven't been able to the same way you have draft day. Yeah, I love the draft day sports stuff, man. I love the Wolverine Studios, guys. I've had the pro basketball game. I'm on my 3rd season. I'm on my 3rd of college football. I've had the last 3 college basketballs. I've had the last two college footballs. Yeah, I love the draft day sports, guys. So if we move on from Naylor, we're giving up, 20 to 30 home runs, 70 to 100 RBIs, and then somewhere between 1 and somebody just got thrown out of the game. I don't know who that was. Somebody for the Yankees. Looks like a batting coach, maybe. Anyway, so if we give up Naylor, that basically means that we have to that we're putting sort of all of our eggs into the Sam Wesniak basket at first, which I'm fine with. What do you think, guys? Do I pull the trigger? Wesniak has a spot at first and improves the defense from Naylor if you trade. Yeah, and that was my thought at the beginning of the postseason. One of the things we were talking about is what we were going to do with Wesniak, because he doesn't really have a defensive position. He's not a second baseman. He's not a third baseman with those ratings, but the power in the eye, he could easily be a 30 home run, 380 on base percentage guy, 40 home run, 380 on base percentage guy. So he could easily replace Naylor's offense if the contact improves at all. And defensively, you're right, he would be better. So I think this is a good move. Yeah, and Cookie Monster, just to sort of finish that thought, I mean, if you're a baseball fan, there is no baseball simulation better than this. There are some that are pretty good. Like for a while, a long time ago, before I got into OOTP, I played Baseball Mogul, and that game was a lot of fun. OOTP is just significantly better, but it's by far the best baseball sim there is. Yeah, Jaron, you're right. I mean, he needs to be a DH, but that's not an option for us right now. Detmers improves the bullpen. He could be a starter if we needed him to. We don't really need a starter, but he could be another good bullpen piece for us. He's still in arbitration. He's relatively cheap. He's got great control, 3 good pitches. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So Josh Naylor, who was kind of that first big fish that we picked up in our first season, we got him from Cleveland in exchange for German Marquez in our very first season, all the way back on, where's the date? June something. I don't know. The date's not showing up here. Or am I just blind? Oh, it's, yeah, right here. No, that's a different Naylor. Look at that. 2 Naylors traded back to back. Yeah, so this was one of the first trades we made German Marquez for Josh Naylor, and now we are going to send Naylor to Los Angeles in exchange for Reed Detmers. Mainly basketball is your main sport, followed by football, hockey, and baseball. Yeah, for me, it's probably hockey, baseball, football, basketball. So it's almost the exact opposite order for you. All right, we complete the trade, and we don't take any sort of fan interest bump or hit or anything like that. So that's a plus. I was concerned that we might with Naylor being sort of a long-term player for us. So we've added just from our minor league systems and the 2 signings or signings and trades, we've added Dominguez, Jackson Bennett, Reed Detmers. Jackson Bennett could be a starter. He's a fly ball pitcher, so I'm concerned, but he's almost identical to Detmers. So Bennett and Detmers are almost identical pitchers. One's just a lefty, the other's a righty. We have a ton of starters now: Glasnow, Dunn, Schmidt, Gilbert, Leiter. I still want to add more bullpen. I'm still not 100% content with our bullpen the way it is. We have $13 million left to spend. So what I want to do is I want to get up to the Rule 5. I want to see if there's anybody in the Rule 5. And if there is, we can make a move there. If there's not, then we can go back to free agency. So you're a North Carolina-based guy, except for baseball, where you're a lifelong Red Sox fan. I grew up in the Northeast. I grew up just north of Boston. So college sports weren't as big up there. I was always, obviously I was a BC fan, but from a college basketball perspective, and we just signed Logan Webb to like a $1 million contract. I don't know why he only wanted $1 million. His numbers weren't great last season, but his ratings are very good. So we picked up Logan Webb. We're going to have a lot of decisions to make in the bullpen come next season. Anyway, as I was saying, I've been a North Carolina basketball fan my whole life. Or I guess I should say as far back as I remember, which is the Jordan days. So, and that's really what hooked me on North Carolina basketball was Michael Jordan. So I have been a Tar Heels fan because of Michael Jordan, really, back in the early 80s. Guys, hold on a second. I got to blow my nose. This is driving me nuts. All right, I'm back. I don't know how much better that's going to be, but I'm back. All right, so they want... You can't have Jameson Hannah. I'm sorry. Even for Yasuke Yamasaki. And he's actually not terrible, but no. All right, Rule 5. So I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is we'll get through the Rule 5. We will make any moves that we were going to make, any trades, any free agent signings or whatever. And I think I'm going to save, because normally, if you guys watch my videos, my off season includes setting up the rosters and stuff. I think I'm going to save that for the next episodes. I have been going now for about 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I'm starting to run out of steam here. So, all right, so we have to put players on the 40-man, and so Denny's going to go on the 40-man, and that's, I don't have any more room left on the 40-man. So is there anybody that can come off? Yes, there are a lot of people that can come off. Yeah, I want to take all these guys off the 40-man. I don't particularly need any of them. Lamelli, I'm going to stick on there. Smith Najiba, I'm going to put on there. Bobby. Bobby Johnson. I'm going to put him on there. I don't suspect that he would get taken, but I'm going to put him on there anyway. I think that's it. Yeah, Drew Jones is up to 3-star, 2.5-star, 4-star. He hit okay. I'm gonna go off the rails here with a prospect thing. He was okay last year in single A. He's not anywhere near ready. Atticus is here. Are you actually here? Thank you for following. Whether you're here or not, thank you for following GM Games. My name is Aaron, by the way. I host my own channel on YouTube. It's called Around the World Sports. So if you follow the GM Games channel for their content on YouTube, why don't you head over there? Drop me a subscribe as well. I've got Out of the Park baseball playthrough going on over there for myself. I'm on, I think, year 5 with the Detroit Tigers. I also have a franchise hockey manager playthrough going on over there, made by the same people, the Out of the Park Developments folks. And yeah, so that's what I have going on over there. So thanks for coming and hanging out here tonight, guys. So again, if you follow the GM Game stuff and you like what they do, I'd ask that you go drop me a subscribe as well, because I do a lot of the same stuff. Anyway, so that's what we're going to add to the 40-man. So let's get to the Rule 5. So we are picking. Right. I never did that. I was talking about how I needed to do that, and then I never did that. All right, so we're picking 30th. So let's get down to our pick. And let's start with pitchers. Not batting potential, pitching potential. DeMarcus Evans is terrible. Nope. Yeah, there's not a pitcher here that's better than what we have, so I'm not going to. Yeah, there's nothing there. All right, let's look at batters. Whoa. Okay. I mean, do we just snipe the number 84 prospect in baseball? Oh, thanks, Atticus. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I have. I mean, there's more on there. I mean, the most recent one that I'm doing is a Detroit Tigers playthrough. It was my first Out of the Park 22 playthrough, but I had, I think, 3 or 4 different Out of the Park 21 series on there. I did one with the Cubs, and in that Cubs one, I played 3 different teams within that same world. So I won the World Series with the Cubs, and then I took over the worst team in the league. I think at the time it was the Red Sox, and then I won with them, and then I moved on to the next worst team. So I had 3 or 4 playthroughs there. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, I think Angel Henao, I don't know how to pronounce that. But at 20 years old with those ratings, I mean, we can put him on the bench and not play him. I mean, we have enough flexibility in our lineup with Enrique Hernandez and Zach McKinstry, who can play all over the diamond. And albeit not great here for Enrique outside of second and short. But McKinstry, Hernandez, even Wesniak can play second and third in a pinch if we needed him to. Gives us the flexibility to be able to have somebody like this and just leave him on the bench for a year and let him develop. So I think that's a no-brainer. All right, and I think that's going to do it. Oh, Penango, he's always on here, man. And these ratings, this is like a perfect leadoff hitter, right? This is a perfect leadoff hitter, but I don't have any place to play him. And, I mean, yeah, I just don't have any place to play him. And he's not very good defensively, so we're going to go ahead and complete the draft. Nice. Red Sox score 2 in the top of the 10th. It looks like every Yankees every Yankees coach has been thrown out of the game in the last 2 innings. I don't know what's going on because I have the sound off, but I've seen 3 different people get tossed, and Aaron Boone is still out there, so I don't have any idea what's happening. All right, so Rule 5 is over. We've added 8 pitchers to our roster here since the season ended. We have 18 pitchers on the big league roster right now. Some of them aren't going to be on the big league team come the start of next season, but I want to just keep adding assets, keep adding talent. That way, if we need to make adjustments, we can. We've brought on Sir Anthony Dominguez to be our closer. Signed him to a 4-year, $10 million or a 4-year, $40 million contract, I should say. We brought in Reed Detmers via trade. We brought in Logan Webb on a cheap contract. We still have about $13 million left, which will allow us to add another bullpen piece. And I keep coming back to Edwin Diaz. Let's see if his demands have dropped at all. Because this is what I offered him initially. And I had 2 team options in here. Let's see if he'll take that now. Nope. So he's at 10-6. What if I did this? What if we did that? Would you take that? Or is it about those team options? Is that what you're not happy with? Oh, he's fine with that. Okay. So, Edwin Diaz. So, we're going to load up the bullpen. And if it doesn't happen with this bullpen, I don't know how it's going to happen. So, let's keep simming forward. We'll get up to the start of spring training, and we'll call it a night. So, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me here tonight. I've had some fun. This time slot seemed to work pretty well. So, I think maybe this Sunday night time slot works for me. I got nothing going on right now. I'm just watching baseball, so I can play out of the park baseball while I watch baseball. So maybe this Sunday night thing works for me. I'm gonna put all these guys down in AAA. And is that gonna leave the ballpark? No, catch against the wall. All right, so let's keep going. So yeah, maybe Sunday night will work. I'll have to try to plan my weekly streams or my weekly videos so that I can do a Sunday night stream. So for those of you who are just checking in, like Atticus, for example, we just finished our 4th season with the Rockies. We went from 53 wins to, I think, 63 wins to 83 wins to 99 wins this season. Made the playoffs. Lost in the wild card round to the Padres. We actually had a 2-0 lead. Our bullpen gave up 7 runs in the 6th and 7th inning. And it was at that point I decided I needed to throw a whole lot of money at my bullpen this year. So that's what we are doing. We do have the reigning Rookie of the Year in Zach Veen, the reigning MVP in Jose Ramirez, who we signed away from the Cleveland Indians before last season to a 6-year, $170-ish million contract. So we lost Caleb Ferguson. I don't care. Caleb Ferguson was the biggest culprit. He gave up, you can see, he gave up 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning in that postseason game. So he can go back to the Dodgers. That's fine. The White Sox want to send us Jose Abreu for Jamison Hanna, right? Because they don't think we have a first baseman. So we need to, just so we don't get offered 100 different contract offers. So we will set him to first base. Drops him to a 4-star, but I don't particularly care about that. All right, Hall of Fame voting. So yeah, I think Sunday night works. So we'll try it again next Sunday. I don't think I have anything going on next Sunday. During the summer, and I've said this a couple of times on the stream, during the summer I'm part of the radio broadcast for the Chicago Dogs, which is an international, or independent league baseball team based here in Chicago, of course. So during the summer I do that. So I'm gone I don't say a lot of nights, but I'll be gone a handful of nights in June. I don't think I'm doing any Sunday games, so this should work. Hall of Fame voting. Nobody makes the Hall of Fame. Beltre comes in just short. Beltran comes in just short. Manny comes in just short in his next year, or his next to last year. Billy Wagner gets dropped. Russell Martin, Bobby Abreu, Tulo, Reyes, Kinsler, Ionetta, Zobrist, Adam Jones, and Cargo all get dumped. Petey, only 5.2% in his first year. That's a bummer. Ichiro only got 55%. I don't get that. And it does this every single time to Ichiro. It never puts him in the Hall of Fame right away, and I don't understand it. But anyway. All right, let's keep going. We're just waiting on Diaz to see if he will sign. So, of course, we go to the 10th, and the first 2 batters reach for the Yankees. Come on. I mean, one of those Red Sox-Yankees games that take 4.5 hours to play. All right, so we do sign Edwin Diaz. So we have loaded up our bullpen here pretty substantially here in the offseason. So we are going to have some decisions to make. We're going to have to send some people down that probably don't deserve to be sent down. But that's the plan. So we're going to run Dominguez as our closer. I might try Diaz or I might do Diaz as the closer because he only has a 9 stamina, and Dominguez as a stopper. And then as excuse me, as setup men, I can go Detmers and Gratterall. Oh, God, my nose is killing me. And then who knows what I can do from there. But I now have 19 pitchers on the big league roster. We still have about $4 million. I bumped our ticket prices up to 36 this year. We're getting a small bump in revenue, so that's nice. Salary-wise, we're in good shape. We're still paying Jacob deGrom this year and next not to play for us, but that's fine. That's really the only anchor. I don't think we have a bad contract on our team. Radiel Martinez, I think we need to move on from. Can we just get his contract off the books? Does anybody want him? I literally would trade him for anything, even a significantly worse pitcher at this point. Sure. Jonathan Holder. Perfect. I want to get the money off the books. Cool. So that gives us another $4.8 million. Detmers might be... Yeah, let's take a look at him. He's actually better against righties, believe it or not. I have... Was it Tim Hill? Yeah, I think he's the one who's... Yeah, he's my lefty specialist. I mean, he's lights out against lefties. And as long as he only pitches against lefties, he should be fine. But yeah, he's actually better against righties, believe it or not. So, but those are all going to be decisions we make in the next episode. You can see we are just loaded with young talent as well. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. So let's keep going. Yeah, I'll just get us up to, so we'll hit the 28th. We'll see if he gives us a budget increase, and then we'll move up to the start of spring training, and then I'll call it an episode here, or I'll call it a stream here, I guess. 3 hours is enough. 3 hours is enough. All right, so we have $204 million. He didn't increase our budget at all. That's fine. Again, we've seen an increase there. We still have a little bit of money to play with throughout the course of the year if we need to. I don't think there's anything else. Is there anybody else here that has shown up that... No, not really. See if there are any bats. Nope. No bats that I would want to bring in anyway. Nope, I'm good. I am good. All right, so let's get up to spring training, and we will wrap this puppy up. There's a 1-4-3 double play. Very nice. Very nicely turned by the Red Sox. Kenley Jansen to the Rockies for Fradiel Cruz. No thank you. Yeah, I hope so. And that's how, I mean, I'm good. He'll probably be that 13th man in my bullpen, and that's exactly how I'll use him. But yeah, I got a ton of pitchers, so I'm gonna end up sending pitchers down that likely don't deserve to be sent down. Like my two, I've got a couple of young pitchers. My number one pick in 2024, and then another pitcher who was an 11th round pick who's actually really developed. Who I don't know. I just don't know if I'm gonna have room for him. I don't know if I'm gonna have room for a 2.5-star, 4-star guy over a 3-star pitcher. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens in spring training, and knowing out of the park baseball and its history with pitcher injuries, I'll probably lose half my bullpen during spring training. So who knows what'll happen. Just waiting to see if we get a player development report, because that may help us make some decisions here. Almost there, February 25th. All right, so it's spring training. We don't get the player update yet because it's not February. And I think that's it. I don't want Apostle as my starting. And that's the other thing, is that I've got Shirt and Apostle, who is going to be my backup first baseman, third baseman. So I've got that defensive sub for Wesniak, who we will get time at first base throughout spring training. So, so I think that's going to do it, guys. I think we're done. I think 3 hours is enough. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Some of you have been here a long time. Some of you came in right at the very end. I appreciate you hanging out. Again, if you don't already follow GM Games, drop them a subscribe on YouTube. Drop them a follow here. Join their Discord. If you like the sports simulation stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on their Discord. I keep looking here, like I think the camera's here. The camera's here. So I'm still working the bugs out as this is only my third live stream. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Again, my name's Aaron. I host Around the World Sports on YouTube. So drop me a subscribe over there. I would appreciate it. And we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And have a good rest of your weekend. Good night.